Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the Distinct and Jovial podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm joined once again by my newly returned to the UK co-founder, Jerry. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, slightly frazzled, bit like a bacon frazzle. I've just come back from Gibraltar, where the temperatures ranged from, and I'm not joking, every day from anywhere between 34 and 38. And the feels like temperature was between 39 and 46. So, which was fun. So yeah. And it's the first time I've ever used Factor 50 as well, so.
Did you bathe in it?
And I needed to. I slathered myself in it. Slathered. I think that's the word of the week. Slathered. Yes.
And
I needed to.
Listeners, as you might have heard, we have a guest on for this one, and he's one of my favourite humans. We have, he works with us, but we have the wonderful Sean, who's joined us on the podcast.
Hello.
I'm going to get like sound effects, aren't
Fireworks. I needed some smoke just to appear.
It's like, what would your stage name be?
Entrance.
What would my stage name be? Oh, Christ. Oh, I don't know. I think Jerry could make up a really good one for me.
Oh, Sean Bottomless Brunch Burton.
I'll go with that. Or as you as you called it, arseless brunch.
Arseless Brunch.
Sean, arseless brunch Burton. Oh God,
That actually works really
kind of rolls off the
well.
tongue, doesn't it?
We're starting with this one strong.
Oh
aren't
dear,
we?
it's gone downhill
We
quite
are.
quickly, isn't it?
I hope we haven't peaked too early.
Story of my life.
Bishop.
Don't speak to any of my exes. Anywho, this is episode number 49. We will remind everybody that the views that we express on this podcast are strictly our own, and any branded products that we show, there are alternative branded products all over the space for you to purchase at your leisure, as some of us will be. I want to say though, is that a zero alcohol one, or because it looks like it with the blue label?
No. To be honest, no.
Wait 1 second. After the day Sean's had, you think he's going to go for
is
zero
needed.
alcohol?
It's a necessity.
That's about as much use as a cock-flavoured lollipop, to quote a famous line from Dodgeball.
To be fair, the only other person that has drunk alcohol on our podcast... Oh no, Chat Stevie T might have done.
Did he?
I can't remember what times we recorded.
I think he wanted to. I don't think he's actually
This is when you say it was at like...
Most people want to by the
This
end
is
of the podcast.
when you say it was recorded at 10 a.m. on a Monday or something.
Yeah. Isn't that when arseless brunches start? No, the only person that has is Samwise, and first message I got from my from the legend was I can see why Samwise needed the wine before she started. And then I proceeded to get abused for the entire podcast.
Because that was the only way that you did get a lot of abuse in that podcast. That was the only way she was going to make it through. Yeah, let's face it.
To be fair to Samwise, like that's pretty standard. Like abuse has just been what all I've just received, and I'm sure we all have friends that their best way to do it is to give you abuse. Well, so it's going to be probably the most hot and frazzled because it was also ridiculously hot in the UK, and the news that I will address more on the next podcast will be with the new house. But as I've been DIYing, and as a rose bush fell on top of me today,
just randomly, you're walking along the street.
No, I have. There's an archway that I've now had to take down that was outside a shed, and as I was moving some of the gumph that the previous owner had left behind, I knocked the archway, which then proceeded to fall on top of me, which has currently got like a rose bush like wrapped into it. And needless to say that rose bushes are thorny. So I then spent, after I'd extricated myself, said many rude words, which I'm sure my neighbours did not appreciate. I then had to spend 20 minutes picking all the thorns out of me. Sent a photo. Sent a photo with a description saying rosebush fell on me, and the only thing that my mum said, "Oh, why did you get rid of it? It's lovely." No, I'm sure that are you okay, son? Do you need some support?
I'm gonna turn it into a jumper.
Just emotional, because clearly.
Are you alright, Petal? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just had to,
that's
fine.
get in the bin.
Thank you. You know, on this podcast, you're literally like a rose between two thorns, aren't you, Dom?
Me?
Yeah.
Do I end up being the thorn between two roses?
No.
I don't know, but it is a bit of a thorny issue, so should we move on?
Oh, very good. Very good. Listen, I thought this podcast was like looking quite rosy, but I'm not so sure anymore.
I think that you're just being a bunch of pricks, so let's move on, shall we?
Very good.
Oh dear, my cheeks are already
right.
hurt.
Well, I mean, like we were recording before, and as the video, I need to show you the video before at some point. I have to do that.
Which cheek?
Quick fire then.
I'm not going back to Arsenal's brunch again, are we? Sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh dear. This is a kind of
we're coming out swinging today.
I am. I am.
Oh dear. Right, we can go quick fire or we can go slow fire, whatever you would prefer. But we are going through the previous foods of the months as you are a new guest, and I listed all of them. I'm pleased to see that you did.
Yes,
your notes.
I was just so keen. These questions, honestly, I just love them. Whenever you get a guest on, I just get so invested. It's like sometimes, because often I listen to the podcast in the car, and often I'm either driving and I'm like, yes, really good shout, yeah, that's a good one, or I'm absolutely livid and I'm just like, who is this person? What on earth? What are they thinking? So yeah, I had great fun with them, but I did delete them after you told me to delete them from the document.
Yes. Yeah. So we can't see any of the notes. Just while I remember of car, because no doubt that Swanee is currently listening in his car, but just to inform him that I have lost the game, so that he will now really appreciate that.
There you go.
Swanee has switched
and
off.
The thing is, people... No, he won't have a choice, because he'll be listening in the car, so all he'll be given is a hurl of abuse to the radio as it's playing it out loud. Yeah, exactly. What I love most about that is people listen to these podcasts at different times, and there's a few people that play the game and listen to this. So randomly I'll get it's really annoying because it means that I then lose the game, because they'll message me going, "You made me lose the game," and I was like, "I haven't said anything." what are you on about? No, it's because, to be totally honest, I listened to your podcast from 6 months ago. Well, wonderful. Right, quick fire then. Go to meal deal.
Meal deal. I have actually two. I'm greedy. In a normal time throughout the year, it is a chicken Caesar pasta salad with some mango and an iced coffee.
Okay.
That only varies around Christmas time, and the turkey sandwiches come out, and all the trimmings, turkey. Yes, cranberry sauce, Jerry. Nice bit of sweet in there. How do you feel about that?
It's fine.
It's another fruit.
It's not pineapple.
No, we'll get there.
It's not pineapple.
I was going to say, are you a cranberry sauce lover, Jerry?
I think it works with turkey. I think it's it's like the coronation chicken. It kind of has me backed into a corner. It does work.
It's kind of suggesting that you're a hypocrite.
The drink's kicking in. It's all right. I was like that after my first pint. You'll get used to it.
So, I just thought...
Round two.
Like, I've had this...
Sorry.
I've just had this thought. You're quite a curry lover, aren't you, Jerry?
No, I love... curries. It's God tier. definitely.
Yeah. Other than when you spill it in your car and your car smells like curry for 6 months, but that's a different problem.
I do remember listening to that. I do.
I can hear Kerry now going, oh!
Do you know, the thing, I sprayed so much Sex Panther on that seat, and it made it worse. Because at least you know where you stand.
Well, it was 1% of the time that it didn't work every time.
Yeah. Basically. Oh, jeez.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
so
it was
my
bad,
question for the
worse.
curry... Yeah, you did. My question on the curry then, mango chutney.
It's a great shout.
With the poppadoms.
Especially with
poppadoms.
poppadoms.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that
definitely.
your aversion to fruit in food is just pineapple.
So we're narrowing it down.
Yeah.
I think you might
do
be
get
right.
some mild curries with pineapple in, don't you?
Now you're
Well, I
trying
like
to
a chicken and pineapple from the Chinese.
Thoughts, Jerry?
say wrong. It's just all kinds of wrong. It's pineapple, for God's sakes. It eats you. As you eat it. It fights back.
True.
Yeah.
That's what makes it such a
Why
badass
would you do
fruit.
that? Why? I don't want a badass fruit. I want a fruit that's going to obey and will respect my authority. It will respect my authority.
We'll go from there. Oh dear.
That's what we
Right,
see how many
okay,
South Park
next one.
fans there are out there. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. Go to McDonald's breakfast.
Yeah, this is probably my hardest one because I really rarely have a McDonald's breakfast, if I'm honest. Sometimes a Friday treat. I think the last time that I had it, it was like a Mighty McMuffin or whatever you call it. Yeah, it was probably that. But I don't really have it that often.
I don't even
What
remember
about
last time I had a
breakfast?
McDonald's, let alone a McDonald's breakfast.
Sorry. It's just so...
I can't remember what your choice was, Jerry.
Oh, but my choice is not having one. Because it tastes like curried arseholes.
I think that was your choice,
What,
wasn't it?
McDonald's breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just...
Or is that the curry that you order?
If I was to eat...
Make it extra spicy.
No.
Heavy on the arsehole.
I want it to really hurt on the way out. I've
put the toilet
there is
tissue in
more
the fridge.
nutrition. It's the one time that you pray for Neptune's kiss when you're going to the loo. You have to think about that one.
Oh dear.
You're literally pleading for Neptune's kiss.
I'm gonna swiftly move on.
Oh dear.
But you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Right. Should we go to pizza
Let's
topping?
do it. Let's do it. I'm gonna rip the band-aid
Don't you dare
off,
say
as it
pineapple.
were.
Don't you dare!
My
Don't you
go-to
do it, Sean.
is a create your own pepperoni for the salty meatiness, jalapenos for the nice spice, and pineapple for the nice sugary, fruity hit.
Are you taking?
No, Natalie will tell you.
That is quite.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
Is that legit?
I promise, Natalie will tell you.
Oh.
My wife, every time we have a Domino's, other pizza offerings are available. But every time we have a Domino's, that is my order.
So let me get pepperoni, jalapenos, and pineapple. What's the sauce?
Tomato sauce.
Tomato. You're not a barbecue person.
I can appreciate it, but it wouldn't be my first choice. Yeah, it wouldn't be my first choice.
That is a concoction.
It does
and a
raise
half.
some eyebrows from people, which I can appreciate, but you know.
But that's probably the best answer I've ever heard.
Jerry's not thinking the same.
well,
Everyone has their unique. No, Jerry's not. I know that.
If we were all Amish, you'd be shunned right now. You'd be shunned.
I've now got visions of Jerry walking down that, like the plaza in Game of Thrones. Shame. Shame.
It's going to do that next time we're in the office.
And we'll be throwing actual pineapples at you. Duh! Bloody hell, that hurts. What the... Shame.
I knew that was going to be...
People say that onion's the only fruit and veg that makes you cry, and then I threw a coconut at him. Oh, dear. Sorry.
I'd rather grate coconut on my pizza than bloody pineapple.
Go to Nando's order.
I will go through the order. I've got a good story about this as well. Half chicken.
Oh, go on.
Better
no,
not
it doesn't.
pineapple.
Although you can get a pineapple in Nando's, can't you? You can.
You can get pineapple in Nando's.
Yeah,
can you? Seriously?
Yeah, I've never had it.
Yes.
But, half chicken, extra hot, with peri fries, spicy rice, and you've got to have a side of halloumi. It's a must.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nothing can beat squeaky cheese.
Yeah. But my story.
Love squeaky cheese.
Do you remember back in the day when Nando's wasn't the loyalty scheme wasn't digital? It was just a stamp. Well, one of my best mates, who is the same guy that I lived with for a few years, he managed to get his hands on a stamp. I don't know how. I think he bought it online or something.
Jesus.
And so he would stamp up his card to get a free half chicken, or sometimes a free whole chicken, and it would go to the lengths of like passing the card round to get different handwriting to sign it, because obviously you got to do the stamp, and then the staff member usually obviously signs it. So you used to pass it round, and we used to do it right-handed, left-handed, so it was all different. It all looked quite different. Just a little squiggle. I don't know if I should be admitting that on a public podcast, but there we go. So we had a lot of Nando's in our time.
Now I'm
fully invested.
At least now, if I need anything signed off at work, I know who to come to. Right? Can you sign this off in your left hand, please? That's the way to do it. Oh dear.
Two things.
I'm not going to actually do that before.
Yeah, I like the way you just put that in as a caveat, Dom.
All thoughts are my own.
Really? Yeah, I actually thought.
Sometimes these thoughts come out of my mouth. It's not a good thing. Who gave me a podcast?
Well, two things on that. One, I didn't even realise that they'd stopped doing the card.
Yeah,
royalty. I didn't realise it was all on of that. Yeah. So there you go. I didn't have a clue about that. Secondly, what did the cheese say when it saw itself in the mirror?
Hello, me.
Hello, me. Yeah, that's my dad
Jesus Christ. You can tell that I'm with two people that are dads, can't you? God help
and
my
yet,
soul.
It's still bloody hilarious.
It never stops giving.
Well, I suppose you're both on different ends of like the time in your dad career. I mean, I'd say that Jerry's coming to the end of his, but I mean, what, Rachel's retired?
Checked out ages ago.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure if we spoke to Rachel, she would not. I'm sure she would say you're not retired.
I'm definitely not bloody retired. She knows it. I know it. We all know it.
It's always my favourite story when you say that Rachel is very good at critiquing your fashion sense.
Oh, what's wrong with your fashion sense?
Well, also that he apparently walks like a sim. That's probably the best insult I've ever heard in my life.
That did make me laugh.
You look like a rescued human.
What I didn't realise about Jerry until very recently, and I was really impressed, was how much of an aftershave connoisseur Jerry is. It's.
Have you not listened to that episode?
I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have.
It's very early.
Maybe it's
like episode 3,
okay.
I think.
I have to go back. Yeah, I had no idea, and then I made the mistake. it wasn't a mistake. I enjoyed it, but I made the mistake of saying to Jerry, "Oh, you smell nice," and then I had like a 15-minute
and that was it.
monologue of aftershaves and blending it in with this and that, and spraying it here and spraying it there.
Out of the two of us on this podcast, Jerry is the well-dressed, well-groomed one that smells nice, etc., etc. Right? I rock up in a Gymshark t-shirt, and I even commented. I actually went and changed the t-shirt I was in because I realised I recorded the last podcast in the same Gymshark t-shirt, so I went and changed. Right? So I think I've got a different one this time. And like, so out of the two of us, which is why it makes me laugh whenever I've heard about Rachel critiquing his fashion sense, like his indoor sunglasses or anything like that, because like, aha, there is somebody that will humble Jerry just when it's needed.
Oh yeah, she doesn't give a shit. She literally does not pull any punches. I got a pair of sunglasses once, and I wore them, and she just looked at me and laughed and went, "What are they?" And I was like, "Right, okay." I didn't wear them again after that.
Oh, Jerry.
It just so destroyed me. I know. It's just like, she was absolutely brutal. It's like, what the hell are you wearing? You look like an idiot. And I was like, okay, cool.
Oh, my heart is
I'll just take those off.
aching for you.
Thank you.
My question is Natalie a fashion connoisseur? Does that mean that...
She's definitely more of a fashionista than I am. And she keeps me in check. The other day, I think I sent her. I think I sent her a picture of some shorts, and I said, "Oh, do you like these?" And she just put, "They are not for you." That was it. They are not for you. It's like, okay, I won't buy them then. I'll take them out my basket.
I do know that you have spoken about the fact that you've done your work from her desk of, shall we say, science lab.
It really is, yeah. There's potions bubbling and billowing out smoke everywhere, yeah. Her skincare regime is off the charts. I think only beaten by Sinead. Sinead, from chatting to her, is next level. But yeah, it's like we go upstairs and trying to get into bed, and it's like a 25-minute process just to get into bloody. I'm sat there on my phone like, still going, are you? Yeah, another layer, another bit of acid on your skin melting off. Okay, yeah, great. You look lovely, honey.
If the men find out we can shapeshift.
Oh my god.
But I should add, she's beautiful, so it obviously works. She is, my wife is stunning. Just in case she listens to this.
I will say... it's like the warning.
You're going to have this on in the car with you in the car, and you're going to voice. She's going to be like, "Why did you say that?"
Yeah.
Disclaimer. No, I have to say that's got to be the quote of the week. That has. Those are not for you.
Those are not for you.
It's like edit basket, remove item,
slowly
basket.
Crawl into the corner and cry.
Those are not for you.
Yeah,
that's broken me.
To be fair, right? So interestingly, 'cause I think, Joe, we mentioned fashion a couple of episodes ago, and one of the people that you're going to meet at summer camp. She is the one that. So I've been told that by Steph as well, who's been previously on the podcast. One of the hats that I've worn, which is very much like a cricket hat, and they've said it to me. They started gently. It's like, "What do you think of your hat?" And I think, well, it's very practical because it keeps the sun off my eyes, and off my neck and stuff like that. And they were like, "Okay," and I'm like, "Just hang on a minute. What does that mean?" Right?
Is it one of the rim hats?
And then eventually it was like, "We hate it."
Yeah.
And they were very pleased when it died in the Maldives, because apparently I couldn't get that one wet, and I was on a paddleboard and fell off while wearing it, and then it's now not a brim hat, it's a bucket hat. But unfortunately it's too big, so it comes down to like here because of the way that the water's affected its sturdiness.
Brilliant.
Not recommended.
So have you got a base
Subway sandwich? I've been
still on the hat
purchased.
subject.
I've been purchased 2 hats by Steph and Kasha, which I'll be wearing at summer camp. But I'm not sure baseball caps are for me.
Yeah, but it might not be baseball caps. One of them might be a top hat.
No, they're both baseball
and
caps.
And the other are fez. I think that would be good.
I'm not sure if fez would suit me either. But the problem is, because I've got no hair, I have to put something on my head. Factor 50 sun cream.
Did I... sorry, we're... as usual, this podcast is digressing. Did I hear that Jerry's going to your summer camp? Did I hear that right?
He is indeed,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna kick some ass.
He doesn't know that he's coming running with us at 7 o'clock in the morning.
What you don't know is he's going to be on a bike.
Yeah. No, even better.
I wouldn't want to cycle up that hill.
I'm going to tie one end of a rope around me, the other end of the rope around Dom, and you're going to run. And I'm going to be on rollerblades. So that's fine. Could do that 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't care.
The hill at summer camp, the first hill must be over 20% in terms of gradient. It is very, very steep. And very sharp cornered as well. It's horrible to run up. I don't know why we do it and I've done it for the last 11 years. Sorry, so Jerry is not training, but Jerry is coming down, and we, spoiler alert, are going to record our podcast from summer camp with some description.
That is awesome.
Where hopefully with the backdrop of Croyd in the background, which is going to be lovely. Croyd Beach.
Nice.
So yes. And we've already been cursed by another one of our work colleagues because me and Jerry are on holiday at the same time. Apparently we're abandoning her because we're all on holiday. She doesn't know who to talk to. So yes. Subway sandwich then, Sean.
Subway sandwich. Steak and cheese on Italian herbs and cheese with lettuce, cucumber, pickles, jalapenos and chipotle sauce.
I mean, that's probably one of the most perfect sandwiches that you could have in known to man, couldn't it? I'm not a jalapeno fan, but otherwise everything's perfect.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Have I redeemed myself?
That's top drawer. You have actually, to be fair. That is perfection in terms of a Subway sandwich. That is top drawer.
Oh, yeah, that is good. That is such a good start.
Toasted.
Steak and cheese.
Toasted, absolutely. Yeah,
toasted.
absolutely.
Yeah, just to get the melty thing
cheesy.
going on. Nice.
Nice.
Extra cheesy. Story of this podcast, extra cheesy, isn't it?
Well, it is with that dad joke, anyway.
Jesus. He's not going to help us. What do you have on your jacket potato?
The accessible topping would be tuna mayo. Pretty standard. But the god tier of topping would be chili con carne.
Oh, interesting.
With cheese on top?
Yeah.
Grated cheddar? Nice.
As you can tell, I'm a fan of cheese. I like cheese.
I was picking that up. Subtly.
I was like to say, who doesn't? Like, if you speak to people,
they live amongst us.
There are.
And crazy. Even if you speak to lactose intolerant people, they go, I will occasionally have cheese and suffer the consequences because cheese. There is
100%.
There's very few foods better than cheese.
Yeah, also.
I defy somebody to tell me some food.
I know 2 people that don't like cheese.
Out them.
And I still.
I'm assuming they're not your friends.
Still can't get my head around it.
And if they were family, they've been shunned.
Casual acquaintances.
They're what?
Yeah,
they are shunned.
Disowned.
I'm not speaking to them ever again.
Who doesn't like cheese? I can't understand that.
You know, that's a line crossed. You know.
Yeah. No, don't go.
Not animals. Not animals.
That's what separates us from the animals: the ability to like cheese.
Exactly. Otherwise, I might as well just roam the earth.
And I
just living like animals.
I have full respect for vegans, but that must be the worst bit about being vegan is the cheese. I can't imagine. I've never had vegan cheese, but I can't imagine it is that great.
No, so my sister's lactose intolerant, so there is a lot of like she has vegan cheese because it doesn't have any lactose in it, and the best way to describe it is all of the cheese, regardless of whether it's like a fancy cheese or a bog standard cheese, smells like feet. Like it just, yeah, exactly. And it doesn't just smell like feet for a little bit. It smells like feet for like 2 hours once like any of its packaging has been opened. It just lingers, and it's not pleasant. And
Does it taste like feet?
I've never tried it purely because
feet.
Well, I think it's something like either. Right. I mean, if you want to swing that way, you lot can, right? But that's not my. That's not for me. We don't judge and we don't shame, but no. No, because and when something stupid like I think it's something like 30% of the taste comes from smell. Like it smells like feet. Can't no. Gross. So no to vegan cheese. Best form of potatoes.
Oh, this was a really tricky one as well. I mean, a really good roasty almost made it. Almost. Yeah, almost. The one for me that came out on top was Dauphinoise.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you'd be a Dauphinoise.
Creamy, cheesy as well.
Many
yeah, exactly.
Cheese on it.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's potatoes and cheese. Is
a cheese got
yeah.
to do that?
Bit of cream, bit of garlic. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, nice.
I can imagine Dauphinoise is, I think, probably one of the harder ones to make.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. You've got to obviously chop up the potatoes really, really thin. Just lay them in there. Mix some cream, I think it's cream, with milk, and some garlic, some salt and pepper. Just pour it in, and then cheese on top in the oven. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's a lot of lactose right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're gonna lactose.
I've got
that's a real hit of the lactose.
It's got cheese running through my veins.
Oh dear.
I think your stage name it'd have to be Sean Cheddar Burton or something. It'd have to be something.
Can
cheesy,
you believe it? It's Sean Cheddar Burton.
Oh.
Oh no, I went there. I'm not.
What
I'm not
is
proud
worse
of it.
than a cheese pun on a
proud of
Saturday evening? Rubbish! You're prouder than anything. That's the best thing you've done all weekend.
I'm gonna message Natalie. Just say, I made it. I got it in there.
She goes,
those jokes not for you.
Not for you. Not for you.
Not for you. Oh man, brutality.
Yeah.
Okay, condiments acceptable on bacon sandwiches.
Absolutely. And it for bacon, I'd go ketchup. For sausage, probably a bit of brown sauce.
I can't.
I have also been a bit partial to a bit of both, as well on a bacon or sausage sarnie.
I do both ways.
I do. I don't go as far as mayo on it. That should. There must be most
Have you seen
wanted
what they do to French fries in
posters
Holland?
for people that have mayonnaise on a bacon sandwich. Have you seen this, man?
They drown it.
Yeah,
in
that's
shit.
wrong. That's wrong.
Mayonnaise and bacon. Mayonnaise and bacon is just no.
Who does that? Have you known of anyone?
No, but I'm sure they're amongst us.
I'm sure. Yeah. They walk amongst us.
We're going to do some conspiracy theory episode, Jerry, on those that put mayonnaise on bacon sandwiches.
It's the lizard people. The Illuminati.
They don't blink.
You can tell the Illuminati.
That's what's in Area 53. Area 52, aliens. Area 53, people that put mayonnaise on bacon sandwiches.
Brian from Harrogate just likes mayonnaise and bacon. What are we doing here? Fucking hell.
I bloody love this stuff. It's great. It's fucking great. Bacon. Man,
what accent is that?
I'm not sure if it is Harrogate.
I don't know. No, I don't think
not
it is.
Harrogate.
I think Harrogate's quite posh.
I'm now trying to figure out what that accent was and what a Harrogate accent would be.
Is it near Leeds?
It's Yorkshire. Yeah. It's York, isn't it?
Yeah, you were a bit Yorkshire, mum. You were definitely from top north on that one.
Hey up. Right.
Hey up. Yeah, exactly.
Hey up.
Bit of last of the summer wine, that's what you want.
Me.
Jesus Christ. Cool. Right. This one is very apt for me because I had a bowl of cereal before we recorded this podcast, but having meals at the wrong time.
I had a real think about this, and I honestly can't think of anything really, any meal that I have at a wrong time. The nearest I could get, and it is pizza related again, and this may make people recoil, but we went for a holiday a couple of weeks back, because as you know, Dom, I'm always on holiday apparently.
You are always on holiday. I'll come to that in a minute.
We went to the Isle of Wight, and there's a really nice kind of place in Sandown where they've got a whole host of street food vendors, and one of them was a pizza place, and they were renowned for different flavours of pizza, quite different. Like pineapple is minor compared to these flavours. One of them was a satay chicken, so it had like a peanutty satay sauce as a base, and then chicken with spring onions and those sorts of flavours. But there was a dessert pizza, and it was kind of like a custardy base with Biscoff cream and crumbled Biscoff and some icing sugar all over the top, and it was absolutely incredible.
Good Lord.
Oh my God, I can see my body's reaction to that, which wouldn't be good, but oh my God, give me.
It was awesome. So that was the closest I got to that kind of a dessert pizza, because you don't get them very often, do you?
Yeah, I think so you're not. So you will have breakfast at breakfast time. You will have lunch at lunchtime and dinners at dinner time. You won't sort of be like, I'll have a bowl of cereal at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
No, I don't really have cereal at all, really.
Would you have a roast in the morning?
Not usually. No, not usually. But maybe cheese.
A 3-meat roast
cheese for breakfast.
Yeah, cheese for breakfast.
Nice cheese ball.
You can have cheese any time. I don't think cheese. Yeah,
charcuterie board.
With or without grapes?
Oh, I do like a grape with cheese.
Yeah, I do like a grape. Yeah.
Another fruit with
because like I always feel like very odd because I just eat anything at any time. Like
you're having breakfast just before recording this podcast. I think kind of verifies that.
Yeah,
what was it anyway?
What was my cereal that I had?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Rice
it's
Krispies.
gone. What's it called?
Cocoa Pops, Frosties, Sugar Puffs, Golden Nuggets.
No, Crave.
Crave.
God,
Crave. You did have Crave.
Crave. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm not gonna lie that I don't really follow any meal structure. I will quite happily, I've done it where I've cooked what I'm going to have for dinner at 10 o'clock in the morning because that's what I fancy.
Really?
And I've eaten macaroni. Yeah, I've eaten macaroni and cheese on like a 10 o'clock meeting while I'm at work. 100%. I did that last week.
Not only do you do it, but you do it publicly.
And then sometimes I'm Yeah. Not well. No, I had camera off.
Unashamedly.
Camera on, tucking into some mac and cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty
Tom,
sure.
What is that you're eating? Mac and cheese.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on Thursday I had mac and cheese at about 10:30, and then I'll happily have like a salad at 3:00 in the afternoon or 7:00 at night or whatever. There's no rhyme or reason to when meals. I just eat when I get hungry. I just eat what I fancy.
The thing about you, Dom, which the only thing that I really dislike is that you're so big that it doesn't matter what you eat. I bet if I ate
That's not true.
what you ate in a day, I would roll to work. I'd be divorced. I'd be alone. I'd be miserable. And it's just not fair.
I like to point out the only person that's single here is me, right?
And even if you were allowed. Even if you're allowed to get those shorts, you wouldn't be able to because they wouldn't do them in your size.
No, I wouldn't get them over my leg.
For context, and I don't want to call them out, but both Jerry and Sean are not in the 6 foot club, and I very much am.
We still have hope though. That's the thing. We still live in hope.
I have to admit, I feel sorry when it's me, you, and young Phil.
Yeah,
because me and young Phil are both 6'3".
I know that reminds me. I think we're gonna maybe talk about a bit of cricket later on, but in the current England team, they have 2 players who open the batting. So the first 2 batsmen who go out. One of them must be 5'6", 5'7", and then the other is 6'4", maybe. So really, really polar opposite. And that for every single game, at the start of the game, they all line up, they sing the national anthem, much like any other international sport. They always go next to each other. Because it's just like a little game that they play. Excellent. And it's so funny, the camera just panning, and then it goes, whoop. It's really funny.
Yeah. It's what I love about Taekwondo that so I'm not in what they refer to as the TPC, the Tall Persons Club. I am 1 inch too short. The TPC starts at 6'4", 195 centimeters, and I'm not in it because I'm not tall enough. And that's purely because one of the instructors, well, my coach is 6'6". And one of our masters, I think, is he 6'10", something like that. He's massive. The always bit that gets him is his hands. But then, interestingly, the person that I'm probably scared of is the wrong term, but the one that you think she could kill you is Laura's sister, Jenny, and she's 4'11". So the size difference that you get in Taekwondo and bits and pieces is exactly that. Like lining up to take any sort of photo can take 15-20 minutes because you just get such a breadth and depth of like different sized people.
And you compete on weight, isn't it?
Yes, those of us that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have the problem that I've got. So I'm quite heavy at the moment, which I'm trying to lose weight, but failing miserably because I like ice cream.
And cereal.
Is chocolate cereal, ice cream, blah, blah, blah.
Dessert pizzas.
Yes, please. So the weight categories are done in kilograms. So the top category is 85 kilograms plus, which, to be fair, 85 kilograms is not actually that heavy, to be totally honest.
I'd love to be 85.
But it means that I fought somebody who's 5'8", like he was at a tournament that I refereed at like a couple of weeks back, and he gets really annoyed because I beat him, but I'm 6 foot. Yeah, exactly right. I'm 6'3", and he's not the tallest person. He's a really nice guy. He finally has managed to drop a load of weight, and he's got below them. He's in the 75 to 80 category, so he's dropped down quite significantly. And I said to him, "He looked great." But yeah, he wants to spar me again. I'm like, no, because I'm weighing in at 90. So not only if I connected, I would fold you in half. Right? That's the problem. But it means that in my sparring career, I've I used to fight minus 63 kilos, at 6'3", and I'll go and get a translator.
63 kilos.
If I can type. Yeah. Just give me it, for God's sake. Problem is, I've got the slowest internet, so why am I looking this up? I don't care about cookies.
Oh,
why do you like cookies?
You want it in stone?
Yeah, so I was 9 stone, 13 pound. 138 pounds. At this height.
Jesus.
And then I kind of hit like 18 and sort of hovered around sort of the high 70s. So I was in sort of the 72 plus category, so it's 72 to 80 category. And then like I stopped competing. I stopped sparring, competing, and I didn't care about my weight, so I cared about strength because that's what you needed for the patterns. And I jumped to like 85, and then the last sort of 2 years since the pandemic, I've not done as much, so I've crept up to my 90. But it means that the people that I've sparred sometimes have been like literally in the minus 63 category. I used to spar people that were under 5'2". And they were really, really quick, and it was a different challenge to kind of spar. But you know, absolutely, it was about controlling the ring. But in the plus 85, I've fought somebody that's like 120 kilos and broken my ribs because of it. Right? And you know, massive.
Can I just say, in all aspects of life, not just in Taekwondo, it's important to control the ring.
You're a terrible human, Jerry.
Well, it's one ring to rule them all.
Great film. One of my favourites. Last two, which I always combine these last two. So, do different pasta shapes taste different, and are there other things that taste different that shouldn't?
We'll finish the first one. No, and let's move on because that's just ridiculous, isn't it? There's the same pasta.
Your expression said it all. Is the way you just like
based on shape. I mean, I've never heard such tosh.
That's why I like asking these questions. I'm pretty sure it's probably one that Samwise was bullying me over.
Yeah, just no. The only other things that taste different well, I would say tomatoes, raw versus cooked, but that is probably not appropriate because you know, when you cook tomatoes, it's with something else and you get the flavours from that. So I'm probably ruling that out myself. So sorry for being ridiculous. The other one that I thought was a legitimate one is Guinness. So, and by location I mean. So I don't know if either of you, I don't know whether you're a Guinness drinker. If you are, have you been to Dublin
Guinness.
or Ireland? And
yes.
Did you find the Guinness tasted extremely different? Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the one that.
Yeah.
It didn't taste like cement in Dublin. It tastes like cement everywhere else.
Cement.
I don't like Guinness. It's like drinking cement. It's so thick. It's like drinking like chocolate syrup out of the thing but tastes like cement. I'm not a fan of Guinness.
Do you like Guinness?
Yeah, I love a Guinness. But and in Dublin, when we went to Dublin, a lot of people had said before we went, "Oh, if you're a Guinness fan, you're gonna love it. It tastes so different." And I was kind of thinking, "Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, leave me alone." I couldn't believe it because it really is so different. It's so smooth and just creamy and it was lovely.
It's lush. Yeah.
No, and I can't say my stories from our trips to Ireland because Swan will kill me. They need to be told off of the podcast. Not for live public consumption. We got ourselves into a lot of trouble in an airport. Oh dear. Right. I'm going to come back to Room 101 just so we can give you a little bit of time to mould over it because I really want to do the blindly ranks. And the top tens because I know that you are a sporting fan, Mr. Burton, and I know that Jerry has some shrewd opinions on some of these things. So
that's a good word.
It's pretty bog standard.
Teeing me up.
Yeah, exactly. The blindly ranks is just some generic sports, but I've put in, you'll see that it says double numbers, because I want you to rate them on 2 sections. I want you to rate on what it's like to play the sport and what it's like to watch the sport.
Okay.
Because they can be very, very different. There are 10 for this one, and I will keep score, and I will take what it would be to play the sport first. I think would be the best way to do it. Just to kind of regale the
Formula
rules
1 will
to
be an
you.
interesting one. Well, I found it fucking difficult.
There is they are very generic. So there's no specific sports like Formula 1. There is something
Horse
related
racing.
to it which you can horse racing. But you've ridden. I mean, I was about to say you've ridden a horse. I haven't ridden a horse. I'll be totally honest. But you must have ridden
ridden
a
a
horse.
horse. I haven't ridden a horse.
Have you not? It's not just.
No.
I don't really like horses.
I mean, I'm terrified
I
of
don't
them.
like horses.
If you ever speak to, you need to speak to Sharon. And I don't. Or actually, has Chat Stevie T told you the story, Jerry? He must have told you the story.
Yeah,
when we went to the donkey
he knows
factory.
about donkey factory.
Not one for the. No, thank you. Don't like horses. They scare me. Anywho, right. So the first one that we have, and so to play will be. So we'll do it to play. So we'll go for football, and there are 10.
Okay, sorry, Dom. Just before we start,
Yeah.
Just why the long face? Sorry, just
That was so naily funny.
Have you seen the size of my nose? Look at
very good. I just like to think, these things off the hoof.
Oh.
Hey, can we get back on track?
Oh, very good, very good. That wasn't my main joke, actually. I just wanted to make that clear. Actually, that's quite a few jokes on the track.
So I like that one. I like that one. That was really
That
good.
one was good. That one was all right.
That was really good.
Thank you.
You win by a canter.
Dear. Well, this ain't my first rodeo, so. I can see Swanee is going to be roaring with laughter, and my mother is going to be sat there going, "For God's sake, it's just a bunch of boys on a podcast. Why do we let a bunch of boys go on a podcast?"
Sorry.
Exactly. I've got a halo over my head now. Here we go.
You have got a halo over your head.
Yeah, I do. I'm losing light.
Football. So we'll start with your number to play, and that is I've put football, but it's like UK football for those of us, for any of this. We do have an audience in America, so that's
Soccer.
I will go straight in at 2. I used to play football a lot and loved
play?
it. Yeah, to play. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same
and
for me
Jared?
as well. I used to love it. Yeah, same.
Cool. And to watch?
I'll also go for a 2.
Ooh.
See, I don't know how to answer this one because it's a 1 if it's the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
If it's anything else, it's probably a 6.
Sit that low for me.
So,
Nice.
which would you
That's
like
quite
to
a
go
jump.
for?
Yeah. So I think we'd have to go for the 6 really because
You don't know what
the
else
World
is on
Cup
here,
doesn't
yeah.
come around that. Yeah.
Tennis.
To play, I'll go for a 6.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Avatum.
I'm not copying you here, honest. But I would say to play, yeah, it'd be a 5 or a 6.
You can't have both. There's like
6.
one rule here.
Yeah, 6. You have to rule
Cool.
the ring.
And to watch?
Gotta rule the ring. To watch,
It's a court.
I'm not really that fussed about watching it. I'd probably go a 7, slightly less than playing.
Ooh.
So my mum loves tennis, absolutely loves it, and every time I go around there, she's got the tennis on, and it literally crushes my soul. So I'd go 9.
9?
Because,
cool.
And if there's one thing I just can't abide by is the deuce, advantage, deuce, advantage.
Yeah, when it goes
deuce,
backwards and forwards, yes.
Advantage, deuce, and it's like 3 hours later.
3 hours later.
Advantage, and you think, just finish the fucking game. Put us out of my misery. I can't take this shite anymore. So,
I like the tennis because I think that Andy Murray. I liked the tennis. I've been, past tense, because I think that Andy Murray had one of the best personalities known to man.
It was very well. It was really so underrated, to be fair, because on Twitter or formerly known as Twitter, he's just so sarcastic, isn't he? He's got a really, really dry sense of humour, and I do like that sense of it really tickles me.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
By the way, sorry, can I just say, I didn't mean to go off on one. I didn't mean to make a racket. So just...
I thought you aced it.
Fuck's sakes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I do not love this.
Oh, very good.
Took a little while on that one.
That's 3 in a row.
Oh dear.
Nice one, Dom.
Very good.
Right. Golf.
I've played one full round of golf in my life, and that was on a stag do, and it involved a lot of drinks around the course. So I had a really good time, but it was about 10 holes too many. So I'd probably go to play. I'm already losing track of what I've gone for. Probably 8.
Sorry, I've got track of it, so I can tell you.
Jerry. 10 for me.
10. Oh,
it's the most frustrating thing I've
to
ever
watch.
Done.
9. Not a fan.
Is it? Oh, Jerry's a secret golf watcher.
It's quite peaceful to watch. I'd go 4.
I'm not gonna lie,
Wow, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I watch quite a bit of golf.
I do like watching golf. I do find it quite peaceful.
I watch a lot of YouTube channel golf. So I don't watch like majors and stuff like that, but I watch quite a bit on YouTube in terms of like specific groups that do it, like the Big Wedge, the Four Brothers.
I've seen some clips of the Four Brothers, and they can be very funny.
Yeah. It's golf on steroids, if you can have such a thing, and it gave it a bit more personality. To be fair, yeah, some of them probably are. Yeah, they can afford it. Well, you've done well so far, Sean.
Oh, sorry.
Because the next one will be cricket.
Number 1, easy.
Well, just before we move on from that, so
yeah,
I have watched like some of the Masters matches are brilliant and they are exciting, but they don't give me wood.
What I will say about the Masters, actually, the thing that I'm probably, and this isn't a pun, by the way, I'm not setting this up for a pun, this is genuine.
No.
The Masters, the winner goes into the clubhouse and it goes all quiet and they put their green jacket on and then they have a handshake. Have you seen how many awkward handshakes there's been with winners? where there's a guy that goes in and he completely ignores him and he's there just waiting and he's kind of going back and forward. Oh, you should find them. They're so funny. There's one particularly that is hilarious.
Oh.
I do like an awkward handshake.
That's going to YouTube compilation. Awkward handshake at the Masters.
Yeah.
There will be a video on that, I'm sure. Top 10 in the world. Jerry, your cricket score to play?
I love playing cricket. And I'm not talking about just even playing serious cricket, like just playing cricket on the beach or cricket at a campsite stuff is so much fun. So I don't know what slots I've got left. I'm not keeping track. What have I got left in the top 5?
You've got 1, 3, 4, 5 at your top end.
3. Yeah, it's so fun to play.
And to watch.
What, John?
I can guess your score.
What's on the bottom?
I'll go
5?
1. I'll go 1 again. It's if I totted up. If I could go back and total up all of the time that I've spent watching cricket, I think I'd be surprised and also semi-disgusted, but it is worth it.
To be fair, I've watched a fairly substantial amount of cricket. I've seen quite a few live as well. Like gone to the.
I'm going next week actually.
Things.
To England, India.
Nice.
Be good.
Utilita?
No, in Edgbaston in Birmingham.
I suppose that's only. Oh, okay.
Birmingham.
Yeah, the last one I did was England. Was it England? India?
It was ladies
no,
cricket,
England,
wasn't it?
New Zealand international women's at Utilita.
Yeah.
That was good. That was properly good as well. Made better because we absolutely spanked them, but that's that's always a nice cherry on top. Jerry, your watching of cricket number.
Okay, what have I got left in the bottom 5?
Bottom 5.
Sorry.
7, 8, 10.
I think it has to be 10. For me, I'm really sorry, Sean. For me, it's just like the most frustrating thing to watch. I'm so sorry.
I
feel so
hopefully I'll
bad.
change that. Hopefully I'll change that.
Yeah, I hope so.
Basketball.
Did you fit this in just to really take the piss? Okay, yeah, we get it.
Yeah, I
all
did.
I did actually play.
So is this your 10 to play?
No, I did. I used to play.
play.
Yeah, I used to play at school.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy it. God, what have I got left?
3, 4, 5, 7, and 10.
I'll go 7.
What have I got?
1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
4. This is to
4.
play,
that's quite high.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's play. And then to watch.
I used to like watching a bit of basketball. Have I got 5 left?
You do.
There we go.
What have I got left?
You've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to say 3. I do like watching basketball.
So this is how I've
I
got
still watch
around
a
the
lot.
F1 thing. I've put motorsport. Because obviously you can do go-karting, which is a form of motorsport, and things like this.
I do enjoy a bit of go-karting. I never used to. The reason I never used to was I remember being invited to a go-karting birthday party when I was younger, and I went along. This was when I was quite young. I went along, and I was so short. My legs were so short that I couldn't reach the pedals, even though they moved in the pedals as much as possible and moved the seat as far forward as possible. Still couldn't do it, so I had to watch all my mates do go-karting. Yeah, when I was a kid. So that stung. But I do like it. 4. Have I got 4? Should I go? Yeah, I'm going 4.
You have got 4, yes.
Do you know what? I'm going to have to stop asking you what I've got, and I'm going to have to make a note and write it down. So, what have I got, Dom?
So you've got 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Hang on, that can't be right.
That can't be right.
No,
You've
you
asked
haven't
a lot
got
of
4.
questions.
Sorry, miscalculated. You've got 1, 5, 7, 8, 9. Yes.
1, 5, 7, 8, 9 on the play, and on the watch.
On the watch, you have 1, 2, 5, 7, 8.
Okay.
You should have 5 numbers left for both.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm so shit at motorsport, go-karting and anything like that, so I'm going to go 9, because I'm so bad at it. I don't enjoy it. I don't actually enjoy doing it.
And to watch? I mean, I know this is my 1-1, to be totally honest.
2.
I might have screwed myself over here. What do I have?
Because I'm including MotoGP in that.
What do I have left for watch,
any
Dom?
motorsport.
And the Isle of Man TT and stuff like that. Yeah, sorry.
3, 4, 6, 8, 10.
I'm going to go for 4.
4. You got a 4-4 for that one. There you go. Running.
I mean, I'd go running.
I'm going to call it like athletics kind of general is probably the best way for watching, because you wouldn't just watch the running necessarily.
I go running. I don't enjoy it really. Is 7 available? Damn it.
No. You've either got 9, 10, and then your next one down is 5. 9, 10, 5, and 3 is what you got left.
I will go for 9.
9. Jerry?
Well, the lowest I can go now is 8. Yeah.
So you hate running?
With a passion, it would have been a 10. If it was possible to go 11, I would have chosen 11.
Steph's got a t-shirt that just says, I hate running.
Oh, honestly.
Oh dear. And to watch?
I would rather choose.
And I'm going to group this probably a bit more athletics.
I'll go 8.
Yeah, you've got 8.
And I'm also going the next lowest, which is 8.
8
the lowest
for you
I
as
can
well,
go
Jerry.
on the watch, yeah.
Fair enough. Weightlifting. This is me that's giving some humdingers. You've done blinding rates before. I love doing this. It's my favourite thing.
I'm going to go 5, which does mean I've left myself with 3 and 10, so that could be really dangerous.
Yes, it can be really dangerous.
Oh no, he's got a really evil
Jerry?
laugh.
To do?
I used to do a lot of it when I was younger, and I did actually really enjoy it. So if you're asking me about the context of now, I don't know. I really, really enjoyed it when I was younger. Really enjoyed it. So I'd go 5, I think.
I'm going to go for 5 here. And to watch it?
I'll go 6, which means I am also with watching, leaving myself with 2 extremes. But it is, I mean, it's quite impressive, isn't it?
Yeah. 3 and 10 for both you've got left.
Yeah. 6 for weightlifting. Sure. It is very impressive, but not the most entertaining, I wouldn't say.
Especially when you really watch it once every 4 years for the Olympics kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't really think of a time I'd watch it outside of that. Jerry?
Taking a gamble here. Because I don't know what the last 2 are, so I might regret this, so I'm going to go 7.
7. Right. Your second last. American football. You don't know what I've got last either. It's not sumo wrestling, I will give you that.
I do, listen, I bloody love sumo wrestling. I'm not joking.
My dad watches a lot of sumo wrestling.
Well, you watch it on NHK.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Dom, you little. Because I don't like NFL. I don't like American football. I'm not going 3. I refuse. I'm going 10.
So this is going to be your 10. Is that going to be your 10 for watching as well?
Yes.
Alright, you've got a 3-3 for your last one, which I'll tell you in a minute. Jerry, you're doing and watching for American football?
So, I've never played it, so I'm going to have to go 7 on doing, because I've never played it. But, I would say up until maybe about 3 years ago, I would have said... Well, up until 3 years ago, I was like, what is this nonsense? Can't stand it. It's ridiculous. And then something happened, and I ended up watching Green Bay versus Dallas Cowboys.
Green Bay Packers.
It was what a brilliant game. And I thought, do you know what? I'm loving this. I'm actually loving it. So then I bought a book about the rules of NFL, because I didn't have a Scooby what was going on. So then I understood the rules, and then I was like, wow, this is actually a really strategic game. I am really enjoying this. Then I got into the NFL. I like the whole thing about the draft and how that mixes things up with regards to the teams that can actually dominate each season.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because it's not like football where it's just like, oh, it's Tottenham, it's Arsenal, it's Man U. It mixes things up. So I actually have a newfound respect for NFL. I wouldn't have ordinarily put it at 1, but 1 is the slot that's free, and 5 I think is harsh. So I'm going to have to go 1. And to be fair,
I'm just trying to calculate. You're doing 1 is 1 at the bottom. Yeah, and is it 5?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, 5 for that
5
one.
5 is the one, for watching. Oh, God.
So, Sean, you're 3-3, and so 3 for performing and 3 for watching, and Jerry, you're 1 for performing and you're 5 for watching. I have written down cycling.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Love cycling. Thank you. It paid off.
You've done all right. Have you
It
done
paid
all
off.
right on this one,
Yeah, boys done good.
I'm not disgraced with myself. Yeah, I can get on board with that. Cycling. I used to do a bit
you've
of
got
cycling.
cricket, football, cycling is your top 3 to perform. Jerry, you've got cycling, football, and cricket as well. Yeah, cycling, football, and cricket. Both of you got those your top 3, just in slightly different orders. To watch, obviously, Sean, yours is again cricket, football, and cycling. It's pretty much in fact, those 3 are identical for both. Jerry, your watching is a little bit different. You've got American football, motorsport, and then basketball is your top 3.
Yeah, that's fair. Happy
So,
Jerry,
the Yank. All in all, I think you were very worried. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
make America great again.
China.
They really are the best squad. They're really the best squad.
And looking at those, looking at those, I can kind of see why you would pick those. I would, I have to admit, things like weightlifting for me would be quite high in terms of doing, and probably quite low in terms of watching. There's and when I say that, like, there's ones that I would watch least, out of the, like, running is probably the one that I would watch the least, because I don't normally watch. Basketball is probably my 10 for watching, actually, but the rest of them I just I don't mind dabbling in bits and pieces like that. So I don't think that you've done too shabby on that one, gents. I think you've done all right.
It was all hinging on that last one. I was thinking, what is it going to pull out the bag?
Yeah, it was no boiled egg, was it?
No, it was not a boiled egg.
Okay, sorry.
Which, still, my greatest victory on this podcast.
That was
cool.
I learned my lesson, Dom. I'm a slow learner, but I learned.
Brilliant.
Nice. Right, well, I'm now going to go into a top 10, because on the back of that, talking about watching and stuff like that. So I have the top 10 most watched sporting events in the world. for the year of 2024. And I actually have the top 11 specifically, which you'll understand later. But if you can get the top 10, and I'll give you a clue, they relate to the sports there. But I want to see if you can, how many you can get and in order. And it's generally events, so it's not like tennis is second. It'll be an event to do with tennis.
And when you say from 2024, does that mean the event was in 2024, or the rating was done at 2024?
Oh no, hang on, I just looked at that because one wasn't. So these were ratings of big events before 2024. So the stats were taken in 2024.
Right. Cool. Okay.
So they're not specifically 2024 events.
Okay.
And there is a couple that I think will surprise you.
Well, the one that you...
Can I start?
Go on, Mr. Yank.
No, go on.
Let me guess what you'll go for.
Hey, I just want to say I have a right to free speech and a bare arms. No, go for it, Sean.
I've got bare arms and wear a t-shirt.
My arms are bare. Sorry.
Oh dear.
Football World Cup. Soccer.
Yeah.
World Cup. Where?
Oh, where? Oh, blimey.
Soccer.
Okay.
Where?
Oh, God.
Where in the top 10? So yes, it's in the top 10. Where do you think it is in the top 10?
I think it's the most
Do you think number one?
watched. I think it's number one.
You are correct. It is number one at 5 billion.
Okay. I would have gone Super Bowl next.
Super Bowl is in the top 10.
But not second.
No, not second. No.
It must be high.
I would put Super Bowl. Not sure. Globally, you see, it's the most watched in the States. Outside of the States, it's got a strong following, but it's nothing like football. So I'm going to hazard a guess. I would put that around 6.
Ooh. I'd have gone in the top 3.
You are too high, Jerry.
That is interesting. I did not expect that.
The Super Bowl comes in at 8th.
Wow.
115 million.
So 115 million?
Jeez.
Yes.
Wow.
Watch it, like
more than
views.
that.
World Cup 5 billion.
Blimey. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on, Jerry. You go.
So Formula One,
Not in the
Grand
top
Prix.
Oh,
It's
Not
so
in the top
sad.
10. Nope. I know
Not
it's
in the
sad,
top
but it's
10.
not in
You
the top
having
10. No.
Are you having a wild safari animal with a long neck?
I am
It's
not.
not in the top 10.
Yeah. It's not in the top 10.
What?
Does the Olympics count? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be high.
And it is in the top
2?
10.
Yeah, 2 or
Really?
3, I'd say. What?
Too high. Although it's a bit ambiguous
Yeah.
for roughly where it is, 4 to 6, but it's a bit ambiguous.
I would have thought it would be as high as possible. 4th. Let's go with 4th.
Yeah, let's go 4.
It's 5th.
Blimey.
The
with
Olympics
2 billion.
is 5th.
The Olympics.
How many?
Just as also to point
2
out
billion.
that things... Yeah, 2 billion. Things can repeat, by the way, so don't limit yourself to just the Olympics. So
Summer
that
Olympics.
would be the Summer Olympics,
Winter
for example.
Olympics. Must
Yes.
be lower.
Winter Olympics is also... It is lower, but...
7th?
Okay, so yeah, Winter Olympics would have to... Where did you say Super Bowl was? 8th, did you say?
8th. 115 million.
So I reckon, and this is just my view, I would say Winter Olympics would be either 9th or 10th.
Wrong. Too low.
What?
The The Winter Olympics is 6th, 1.8 billion.
Oh.
So it's just behind the Summer Olympics.
Bloody
It's
hell.
very popular in other
Yeah, true.
countries.
Yeah.
So you've got 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, and 10.
What are those top ones? The
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon.
Would you say that would be the highest tennis event?
It is
Yeah.
the highest tennis
Yeah.
event, yes.
I would say so, yeah.
7th?
Close, not quite. It's a
I
little
would have
bit
said the
lower
same,
than that.
yeah.
It's 9th. It's just under the Super Bowl. And by quite a margin, right? So the Super Bowl's 115, Wimbledon is 26 million.
Got to jump down.
Big gap.
Go on then.
So I'll give you a little bit of a clue. You obviously the biggest one that you mentioned was the World Cup. There are 2 versions of that. And then also don't think about sports that are popular in the UK. Think about sports that are popular in other countries that are significantly larger than the UK.
Right.
Go on, Jerry.
Okay. I've got one as well. I was going to say Tour de France.
Tour de France, yep. Where?
I would say probably 10th.
Sean?
I know I've said 7th about 4 times in a row. I'm going to go with 7th. One of them's got to be 7th.
It is not. It is second. 3.5 billion people tune into the Tour de France.
Shut the fridge door.
Yep.
Second.
I was surprised when I read that.
What the
I
hell?
was surprised. Cycling is very, very popular in a lot more popular than it is in the UK.
But what big
Sacre
countries
bleu.
is it really popular in? Because obviously France,
It's just
Netherlands.
It's just popular in a
Yeah,
lot
true,
of
yeah.
countries.
Blimey, that is a surprise.
Second. Well, sorry,
Yeah.
what were the viewing figures again?
3.5 billion.
5 billion.
What the
Bloody
hell?
So you touched on the Football World Cup. So,
Yep.
number 1, Men's Football World Cup. The Women's Football World Cup
Yes.
is in there.
Is in the top 10.
Yeah. 7th?
7. No, I'd actually go high. I would maybe 4th. Is 4th available?
Yeah, and you're bang on. It's 4th.
Nice, Sean.
2
Nice.
billion.
Right,
So you've
so
got
Rugby World Cup.
Third. So Rugby World Cup is my bonus. Rugby World Cup is 11th. And that's there to go in with Chat Stevie G, but it is 11th.
11th.
So you have 3rd, 7th, and 10th to get.
Jeez.
I will. Very surprised that Sean hasn't got.
Yeah, I'm
one
going
of
to
them.
go for the Cricket World Cup because pretty much
Is in the top 10.
everyone in India definitely would be watching it.
Yeah, it's got to be 3rd. It's got to
Yep.
be 3rd.
And it is 3rd, 2.6 billion.
That is there. Yeah. Wow.
So you've got 7th and 10th. One is a repeated sport, again, and another is a new sport that you've not mentioned.
You touched oh no, Rugby World Cup was 11th, wasn't it? I was going to say the Champions League. Okay.
Is in the top 10.
I'd say the higher. Is it 7th?
Yeah,
7th. Yes, finally.
It's the one time you didn't say
You got
7th, it's 7th.
You got your 7th. Nice one, Sean. You got your 7. Nice.
So you've just got 10 left.
Which is a new sport. We haven't talked about this.
Sport you've not mentioned yet.
Sport we haven't mentioned at 10.
Yeah. And most of its viewing figures are from the USA.
Oh, it's got to be the NBA.
It is the NBA
Good
Finals.
shout, Jerry.
NBA Finals.
So, and basically,
Jerry
this is my
Merker
20 minutes
avatar.
of research, by the way. I haven't done myself.
Thank you.
So number 1 is the World Cup with 5 billion, the men's World Cup with 5 billion. Number 2 is the Tour de France with 3.5 billion. Number 3 is the Cricket World Cup with 2.6 billion. 4th is the Women's World Cup at 2 billion. 5th is the Olympics at 2 billion, the Summer Olympics, whatever you want to call them. 6th is the Winter Olympics, also at 2 billion. And then it drops quite a lot. Champions League at 450 million. Drops significantly again. Super Bowl 115 million. Wimbledon 26 million. NBA Finals 18 million. And the Rugby World Cup at 17 million.
Oh, I'm surprised about the NBA Finals. That's actually a lot lower than I thought it would be.
It's pretty much the entire of America that basically watches that to get those viewing figures.
So what's the world population now? Is it around 6 billion? Is it, or is it hitting 7
or 60
billion?
to 70 billion, isn't it?
I'm way off, aren't I? Christ.
Yeah, well, that's
No, not 60 to 70 billion, is it? I thought it was about 7 billion.
It's 8.062 billion. That's what it was in 2023.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. 2025.
5 billion?
In 2025, yeah, it's got
out of
8.2 billion.
5 billion out of 8 billion watch the Football World Cup. That's crazy.
Jeez.
Wow. I'm most shocked
children.
about the Tour de France, I have to say. I did not
Tour de France
expect
one
that.
was the one that I was like, wow, really? Yeah. But I showed the results I was talking to him with my dad, and my dad's so me and my dad have cycled Alpe d'Huez and done bits and pieces like that, and that's a story and a half. I can tell that story. And I'm quite a big fan of the Tour de France. Alas, I unfortunately grew up during the Lance Armstrong era of things, so it's kind of been a bit ruined with kind of the subsequent, thanks. I can see, but yeah, apparently it's very popular in other countries, and that would really kind of ramps up the viewing figures. And in countries that you don't expect, so you think it's places like Africa apparently really, really popular. Which surprised me. So yes, but yes, I have. I used to be a very keen cyclist, road cyclist, and I have cycled up Col de Croix de Fer, Les Deux Alpes, and Alpe d'Huez as just a kind of a few of them.
One of my ex-colleagues cycled up Alpe d'Huez.
Yeah, it was probably the least fun I've ever had on a bike. And need to say, I haven't actually done much riding since that trip. We did 2 mountains, and then I caught. We can all blame my mum. My mum caught the norovirus. Well, I don't know if it was a norovirus, but it was some kind of vomiting bug. I have never thrown up like that before. After we picked it up, and after it had done the rounds, and sort of 24 to 48 hours later, we kind of recovered. My dad and his cycling friend, they were like, we've done Alpe d'Huez, not bothered. My dad's cycling friend partner didn't pick it up, was evidently immune to it, didn't pick it up. And she was like, well, I want to do it. I'd been throwing up for the last 48 hours, and my dad looked at me and said, you're going to do it? And I went, yep, I'm going to do it. And I after having not eaten anything and was spent 2 days before throwing up, I then cycled up Alpe d'Huez. I averaged 3.3 miles an hour going up this bloody mountain.
Surprised it's going up something stupid mountain.
It must have taken me 3 hours or something stupid like that. And I have to admit, I didn't come down. When I got to the top, I put the bike in the back of the car and got driven down rather than doing that. That's also because the day before, I was going down the mountain and I pulled my rear brake and pulled it, started to slow down, and then suddenly went ping. Oh, no. And it started to accelerate again because my brake cable had snapped. So I had to take hairpin at breakneck speed. And when it had snapped, it had also cut the inside of my thigh where it just like pinged off. And the other story was my dad's cycling friend. My dad, I don't know whether he got a puncture or chain come off or something like that. Anyway, we'd pulled into a side road looking up this mountain, and there was a tractor, and there must have been about 7 cars. And my dad's cycling friend went, "Who's the lunatic on the bike overtaking that tractor and those 7 cars?" "Oh, it's your dad! Quick, go!" And we were flat on the bikes trying to catch him up because he thought we'd just carried on down the mountain and he was just trying to catch us up. So we were trying to catch somebody who was trying to catch us. Yeah, just never forget the "Who's the lunatic going past?" "Oh, it's your dad! Quick!"
Oh my god.
So yes,
God, norovirus is
cycling
horrible.
stories.
I would just like to say, do you know what? That sounds really bad.
Oh, you need to get
Jerry,
in. Let's put the brakes
really
on this.
grind my gears.
Nice and early.
Oh, you're going to put the brakes on this, are we? Okay. Okay, no, sorry. It's just I keep coming up with these dad jokes. It's a vicious cycle. Can't help
It really did. That did fall flat.
I am too tired for this.
Oh, very good. I love the way you framed that.
I think
you need to get a grip.
Bike.
Yeah.
Right, let's pump it up now. Come on.
Oh, very good.
Right, Room 101 rant. Take it away, Sean. What would you like to put in Room 101?
It's quite therapeutic, this, isn't it? Firstly, I've never really, because I'm quite a. Hopefully, you both agree with me. I'd say I'm quite a laid-back character. There's not a huge amount that really.
Because you're always on bloody holiday.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Oh, here we go.
But there was a few that I could come up with. The first one which came to mind may not be a popular one. Oasis. Would love to put Oasis into Room 101.
The band,
Yes.
I assume.
Yeah. The drink's okay.
Yes,
I like
Not
the
the
drink.
drink.
But yeah,
I just wanted to clarify.
I just and I was of an era where everyone, all of my mates, loved Oasis, and I just never got it, never understood it. Lyrics meant fuck all.
Wonderwall, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oasis, isn't it?
Can I just say, you shouldn't look back in anger. Actually, you don't look back in anger, but there you go. You know what I mean.
Yeah, you don't look back in anger.
Yeah, not a fan.
See, I could only name one Oasis song, which is Wonderwall, and now Don't Look Back in Anger.
But did all of your mates like Oasis? Because we're kind of roughly the same era, aren't we?
No, but the people that I hang around with tended to have spiked boots and bat wings, so yes,
yeah,
I grew up with My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy and Bullet for My Valentine and those types of things.
I would much prefer them
than Oasis.
They're amazing.
So I can't really say. I would have said Oasis was perhaps a little bit before, or it's just too generic.
I preferred Blur. See, I fell into the Blur.
Now
camp.
that's
You're
a band
either,
I
you're
like.
either, right? You either liked Blur or you
true.
liked Oasis. A lot more people liked Oasis, but I liked Blur. I
Till I was rudely wakened by the dustbin men.
I feed the pigeons. Sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me an enormous sense of well-being. Park life.
That is a great song, by the way. That's underrated.
Yeah, isn't it?
Because everyone
It is
knows Blur
underrated.
for song 2, obviously. But yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, no, yeah. And that's a dangerous song to play when you're in the car.
It is.
Yeah.
It's the adrenaline going.
Would people find that controversial to put them in the Room 101? I think there's been a lot of controversy around that with what are they called? I can't think of
Gallagher's.
the brothers' names now off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Gallagher's, yeah. Liam and Noel.
So I'm not sure many people would have
otherwise known as
a strong opinion on that.
I just never got the extent of popularity. They're like the Tour de France. Never understood. I like it, but it's like, well overrated.
Overrated. Cool, but you said you have more.
I do. I have two more. One of them's, I think, quite an obvious and probably quite a popular one. Adverts. TV adverts. But the adverts were bad enough. But now, when you record a program, you can't even fast forward through the adverts. It stops you. I don't know whether it's the same on every device, but I've got a BT telly box, and if you record a program, say on ITV1, you can't fast forward through the adverts. You used to obviously be able to skip through. You're forced to watch them, or at least have them on.
Get in the bin.
It makes me want to just cry and throw it out the window.
Wow.
It's definitely going in room 101.
Because I 100% agree that adverts, the internet is the bit that drives me nuts. Because so many websites are like, oh, you've got an ad blocker, can you turn it off? You turn it off, because I think, alright, fine, I'll try it. And then you're like, well, I can't freaking use the website because I'm getting more adverts than there are on the website. And YouTube is the worst for this, because they'll be like they'll have like 4 unskippable 2-minute adverts, and I'm trying to watch a 2-minute video, and you're like, just get in the bin. And there was this whole kind of premise that somebody was trying to look up how to perform CPR on YouTube and got an advert while they're trying to look up how to perform CPR, and I'm like, people, use my phrase this week has been, there are people in the world that open up their brain, apply some anti-wrinkle cream to it, and then close the lid and then don't use the fucking thing for the rest of the day. I've had many of occurrences this week of people just engage the nogging. You have one, please.
The adverts
use
as well are so unrelated as well. So I think the only time that I ever really put YouTube on really is to put Miss Rachel on, which is for toddlers and babies, a very, very popular YouTube kind of series now. And so we use that sometimes with Darcy, and who's my daughter, by the way. And so you're midway through this happy clappy song, and then it goes to an advert break, and it's like, I don't know, about oak wardrobes or something.
In a world.
It's just completely bonkers. She sat there thinking, Dad, what the hell is this? What's going on? So, not a fan.
Silly bang. Hi, who's that guy? The shouty man. Hi, I'm Barry Scott. Remember?
Yeah. Bang! The dirt is gone.
Is it? Did you ever used to watch Peter Serafinovich? He's a sketch comedian, isn't he? Did you ever see his one where it was Sillet Gun? And it would be like, dirty dishes causing you problems. Bang, bang, bang. And the dirt, and it's like it cuts to the plates all like shattered everywhere, but perfectly clean. It's so funny.
My
he
favorite.
Did Brian
That's
Butterfield,
right. Yeah, Brian Butterfield.
He did. Yes, he did. Yeah.
God, what a guy.
My favourite interaction with Peter Serafinovich is on 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, and Jimmy Carr asks him, he goes, so, are you a fan of word games? And he goes, well, Jimmy, I don't think that's any of your business.
And he said it so straight-faced, didn't he?
Just this deadpan look. It's just deadpan look.
I do remember that. That was very funny. Yeah. Oh, Brian Butterfield's diet plan.
Pork cylinders.
Fluffy ruffs.
Chocolate quail's eggs.
Hoisin crispy owl. Potato grids.
I forgot Hoisin crispy owl.
The one that always used to get me was bonbons. Oh dear.
Oh no. I can hear my mother now going like, "Who put 3 boys on this podcast?"
I like the other 6 days. It's like ice cubes with artificial sweetener.
Yeah. For dinner, lukewarm water.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, shall I do my final Room 101?
Yeah, your
my
final
Room 101, and for me, it's a corker. It's about the only thing that I think when I witness this, I audibly am just like, for fuck's sake. It's car modifications. I just, and I don't mean, you know, car modifications for, I don't know, a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something. It's making something like a Peugeot 106, which is a perfectly good car. It was my first car, but putting a massive exhaust on, a huge spoiler, you know, spitting out bloody foam when it kind of changes gear or something. It's so pointless. What is the point? What are they doing with their money?
You get the dump valve, don't you?
Yeah.
So you get that.
Just
what
is the point? And they're going about 15 miles an hour through the housing estate, and they're bloody pretending to be Colin McRae. Get in the bin.
That's a good one. That's a strong one.
That is a really strong one, and I'm going to be honest. I am 100% with you. I think all cars look best OEM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like manufacturers will make like if I take a BMW, like the M body kit does make the car look a little bit better, and there's got to be a certain size wheel so it fits the arches a bit more. But if you slam it so that the wheel and the arches don't match up, right? That is a really big trigger for me. I think that looks fucking ridiculous. Like an arch and the wheel should match, and it should be equal the whole way around.
Like just angled like that.
And camber and having your toe in the camber on that. Just
God.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to spank all my money by wearing out one particular line on my tyres, and I can't go over any speed bump.
But at least I can go 35 mile an hour around a corner.
I do have one challenge. I do have one exception, actually. I completely agree with you. I do completely agree with you, but I do have one exception. Mazda, the old Mazda MX-5s, look better modded than the original.
Yes, I agree with you to a certain extent. So a Mazda MX-5 is apparently one of the easiest, especially the Mark 1 and the Mark 2s.
Mark 1, Mark
It's got
2s,
pop-up headlights, right? So anything with pop-up headlights is like, yes, please, that's cool. It's one of the easiest cars to mod, right? Because it's Japanese, so it's built in a way that's really easy to do things. There is tasteful modification, and then there's not tasteful modification. So for me, for a Mazda MX-5, it's like, I don't mind if you stick like slightly deeper skirts on it, you put on slightly bigger wheels, but as soon as you go and put you go and slam it, or you bend the wheels out, or you put such a ridiculous exhaust, for me a car should be enhanced, not butchered. That's kind of the way that I see it. So
I saw an enhanced one today. I was driving behind one, and I thought, that looks good. That looks good. And
generally, if it's modded for actual application. So a Mazda MX-5 that's been modded so that it can go on a track and perform well. So you've got a roll cage in it, and they've got slightly better tyres, and they've maybe fettled with the engine. Because one of my favourite things is a car as a sleeper. I love like a sleeper type car. So you have a car that looks completely normal, but they've stuck something quite brilliant under the bonnet. So a really good example of that is they took the Skoda Superb in kind of, standard. They took it in estate form, which is always the better form anyway. And they stuck in They're V6 from a RS4. So it's got nearly 500 brake horsepower, but they didn't change the exterior. They did put it in a lovely, lovely green, kind of near that British racing green. But yeah, on the outside, it didn't look that different, but it's got 500 brake horsepower under the bonnet. I love that. I think that's the better way to do things. Yeah. And the only exceptions, I'm going to expand it a little bit, is not just the MX-5. Most Mazdas are pretty good to be,
I must admit,
kind of a little bit modified.
I do see what you mean. I've googled the Mazda MX-5, and yeah, you're right. They look pretty much okay modified.
Yeah. But it's when it's like horrendous. A Corsa or a a Corsa or a Peugeot 206 or a Ford Fiesta. Ford Fiestas are the worst for it. Keep it OEM, fettle with the engine, but don't keep the exterior. Make it subtle. I think that's better.
Exactly.
I'm 100% on board.
What I'm hearing,
dream car, by the way, from Mazda would be an RX-7. I want an RX-7.
Oh God, yeah, they're amazing.
I can't afford an RX-7.
Can I just? What I'm hearing, just to be absolutely clear on this, is that modified cars drives you mad. Is that what you're saying? Sure.
Yes, that is exactly
where we're going with this. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is coming from a man, by the way, that probably doesn't use his indicators.
Who, me? Oh, I see. I see.
For context, I know that Sean drives a BMW, so they probably weren't even factory fitted. It's an optional extra, isn't it?
Very good, very good. I'm a very respectful driver.
I'd like to point out, I know that Jerry drives a Mazda, so that's even better. But it's not an MX-5, unfortunately.
No.
It's not an MX-5. Fine.
Right.
I'm going to hand over to you, Jerry, for the last topical event, as it's gone. We've talked quite a while, and this is just free for you two. I'm just going to call it No Ducks Given.
Like it.
No. Very good.
This is your full cricket talk.
This is where everyone who was listening switches off. Stick with it, everyone. Stick with it. Lock the doors.
So, I did come up with. So I do have a couple of questions and things, like quiz type questions, but I also have some general questions around cricket, things that I don't understand that I need answers to. So, but I'm going to start with probably the most controversial point, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you consider cricket a sport? Now, I
thought you were going to end it there.
I'm saying this. Yeah, I am kind of ending it there because I'm saying this in the context of you've got basically just everybody just standing around in the field going, "Oh no, what's going on?" And then the only person actually doing any exercise is the bowler, who only runs a very short distance, throws the ball, and then 10 minutes later does the same thing again. Whilst everybody's just sitting around, standing there, just going, I don't know. So is it technically a sport? Because it's just, for me, it's just people wearing
pajamas,
whites and pajamas, and just standing there.
I wear pajamas.
I expected this question. I did, because it is quite a common one, and I get it. There is the stigma around cricket of standing around and then, hey, should we have some teas? Let's go have some sandwiches. Let's have some cream scones. So yeah, I do understand it, and there's an element of truth at certain levels of cricket. Don't get me wrong, but so I think I heard the other day, and we're talking right at the top of the game. International cricket, Test cricket, which is 5 days, which is hilarious trying to explain to Americans especially that this game goes on for 5 days and actually it can still end in a draw. That's just, it blows their mind. But in those 5 days, so you mentioned bowlers who are the ones kind of frequently running in and bowling. If for a fast bowler who's bowling, let's say 85 miles an hour, which is quite quick, over the course of a 5-day test, they clock up, I think it was around 30 miles, 30 miles plus, and on top of that, when they're bowling, because it's quite a strange action, you plant your front leg, you run in, plant your front leg, put all your weight over your front leg, and that's how you generate pace, and obviously you've got to do it with a straight arm. It's something like the force of 10 times your body weight every time you bowl is going through your foot and your ankle and your toes every time you bowl, when you're bowling at that speed, obviously.
Bloody hell.
So from a physical standpoint, and you've also got to remember as well that yes, we play it in England, but these guys go out to India, go out to Sri Lanka, where it's almost 40 degrees, 80% humidity. They're just drenched in sweat constantly, and they're doing exactly the same in those sorts of temperatures and conditions. So, to your point, at the lower levels of club cricket, yes, sometimes it can be a little bit relaxed, let's say, but the further you go up, the more intense that it can get, and when you're right at the top of the game, physically, it's quite tough. A lot of fast bowlers have to cut a hole in their boot, because when they're bowling, obviously their toes are being crushed into the front of the boot, and they can really cause quite a lot of severe damage to their toes, so they have to actually cut out a hole so their toe has a little bit of room to go.
I'd imagine that cricket probably went through a very similar almost like how to phrase it, journey to Formula 1 did.
Yeah.
And so if you go back to 1980s, James Hunt, Ayrton Senna, fitness wasn't a thing, right? I mean, James Hunt
hangovers
was famously he'd have 5 cigarettes. Yeah, right. He'd have 5 cigarettes, go and bang his missus, and then go and win the race. That was always the joke about James Hunt, wasn't it? Right? And it wasn't until Michael Schumacher. Michael Schumacher is actually the pioneer who came in and was physically fit. And Martin Brundle was Ayrton Senna. Yeah, Michael Schumacher was the one that kind of took it to that sports science.
He did
level,
take it to
right?
a whole new level. Yeah.
Yeah. And Martin Brundle would always say, we would come out of the cars physically exhausted, and Michael Schumacher would get out the car as if he'd just been for a leisurely stroll, because he had that fitness, right? And nowadays you kind of do that, and I think cricket probably has gone through that similar stage. I don't know when. I think probably earlier than the Formula 1 one, where most people that did test crickets, you probably were just particularly naturally skilled, or were very good at certain things, and somebody somewhere came in physically fit and started beating them, because hard work always beats talent type thing, and started beating people, and suddenly people went, hang on a minute, if I get myself fit, this is going to be easier.
Yeah.
My other point to that as well, also, having just watched tournaments at Taekwondo and just stood around for 3 days, fuck me, standing around is exhausting.
Yeah.
It's amazing how just exhausting.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and you're right around the kind of the evolution of the professional side of it, because in the 80s and 90s, cricket was physical and tough, but they were all renowned to finish a day of cricket and get legless drunk, and then come in the next day and play again, get drunk next day. And at some point, I don't really know when, but at some point that did change, and it became fully professional. Sports science came in, protein drinks, etc. So yeah, it's changed a lot for sure. But it's always been, especially when you're kind of a fast bowler, that's tough on your joints and your back and your shoulder and your ankles and your feet and stuff. But even as a batsman, if you're batting for a long period of time, some batsmen if they're good, they bat for a number of hours, 4-5 hours sometimes. Sometimes it's been known that people sometimes bat the whole day, and that's tough.
Yeah. I mean,
it's in. Sorry, go, Jerry.
No, go. No, I was going to say, and you don't. Oh.
No, you go.
British now. No. After you. No, after you. To you. Go on.
I have a little bit of an insight. So, actually, the coach that I mentioned, that's 6'10" in Taekwondo, both his sons play for Somerset.
I remember you saying, yeah.
Oh wow.
So Alfie, I'm going to give one of them that I know, Alfie and Jamie Ogborn. In fact, I've just gone to the Somerset cricket page, and he's got a bio. It's weird. It's weird to kind of. It's really strange because I remember him when he was 2 years old. I've known him for ages, and Alfie particularly he's a lovely human, but he's also taller than me by a significant amount, and I've just watched him be taller than me. He's I mean, his dad's 6'10", so he's massive, and I remember at one of the summer camps when he first was truly taller than me, going up to him, and he went. We always call each other by surnames. I've told him not to. He doesn't need to. But he goes, "Mr. White, so good to see you." And he kind of, jogged up, coming over. And suddenly I was like, "Hang on a minute, he's taller than me. Oh, I'm being hugged. This is quite nice." But yeah, but he had some injuries, and Master Robborn was talking about some of the weightlifting bits and pieces that he's doing to back injury when you're a bowler and stuff like that is obviously quite a difficult thing. So yeah, actually I think there is probably quite a bit of sports science in the way that things go around that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the worst, pretty much the worst that you can get as a bowler is a stress fracture, which is unfortunately quite common when you're at that level and you're bowling at that speeds, and as I say, the force is going through your body. You get a lot of bowlers who get stress fractures of their back, and that kind of sets them out for upwards of a year.
And having also faced a ball just on that summer camp field from Alfie Ogborn. Oh, I don't want to do this.
Scary.
Leave me alone.
It is scary. Yeah, those balls are hard.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, this was just with tennis balls, but he's still launching them at you at 80 miles an hour. You're like,
yeah, it's not fun, and they're very hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
I have another question. So bowlers love, and I don't know if this is. So I have a theory on this, and I'm probably wrong, but they take the ball and they sort of rub it all around their crotch area, profusely.
Yes.
And I don't know if that's basically just as part of just to try and up the excitement levels during a match. Because I've seen some of them doing some furious rubbing of the ball against their balls, ironically, and or the base of the shaft. And I was just like, is this for pleasure purposes, or
another?
Do you want to look like? I don't know why you got skid marks now on the front of your white trousers, but how does that work?
Another question that I did expect, and to help with this, I have a prop. An actual cricket ball. Hopefully, I mean, it's not good for listeners, but hopefully I can describe it. So, the way that a cricket ball is kind of designed is there's this central seam, which is kind of an raised string that's woven into the leather and everything that kind of makes up the cricket ball. So when it's new, both sides are completely the same. They have kind of a lacquer on, almost a varnish, which over time, not that long, comes off, and then you're kind of left with the leather. So what they do, and there's science behind this, when the leather is exposed, you can start shining one side. So the key there is you would only ever shine one side. You'd let the other side, and you can see it here, hopefully. This side here is quite nicely smooth and polished, and then this side here is it's less polished, it's a bit rougher. So the reason you do that is, as I say, science. As it goes through the air. As a bowler, you kind of look to roll it off your fingers so that the seam is upright, so the air is flowing over both sides of the ball. For the smoother side, the air goes through quicker or smoother. There's less turbulence. For the rougher side, it creates turbulence and obviously creates a difference in air pressure, and it pushes the ball one way through the air. So that's called swing. So there's kind of an art to bowling called swing bowling, where you're just renowned for being able to really get it nicely kind of moving through the air, and it can literally bend through the air. It's kind of like a bit like a football when you can put spin on it, and you obviously see it curve through the air. This isn't spin, it's actually kind of the air going over the ball and creating a difference in air pressure. So that is why.
Unless you're a spin bowler.
Wow. Spin, you obviously put revolutions on the ball, and generally you would see the ball coming at you as a batsman, horizontally, and it would be spinning, and then it would hit the pitch and deviate. So with a swing ball, you would see it literally bend in the air, and obviously that can be quite difficult to face when it's done well. So yeah, when they're polishing it on their cock, it is to make it nice and shiny on one side, and to leave the other side rough.
Well, and this is why I like playing cricket so much, because
you rub it on your cock.
You can you can rub your cock. You can rub your cock with a ball. It's great. It feels good.
Big fan.
Oh my Christ! What was that?
Okay, so next question. In fact, I'm not going to do the quiz thing. This is good because I like these explanations. People want the explanations, right?
We'll see from the viewer count.
A quiz, or
the listener count.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We should have introduced.
Yeah.
We should have introduced and said Sean plays a lot of cricket.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was kind of obvious.
Yeah, you know your stuff. So, how can you tell where on the boundary is a 4 versus a 6?
How can you tell where on the boundary is a 4? So if it hits the ground before it goes over the boundary rope, it's a 4. And if it clears the boundary rope or hits the boundary rope on the full, then it's a 6. So if it bounces once and goes over the boundary rope, it's 4. Or if it, you hit it and it rolls for ages along the ground, that's a 4. But if it's literally I guess from a baseball perspective, kind of a home run. If you hit a home run that goes over the ropes without it bouncing, it's a 6.
Got it. Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Next question.
That was one of cricket matches I saw was England Australia in Bristol. Can't remember what the Bristol one's called off the top of my head. 50 over match. We bowled them all out for I can't remember what the number was, but then flipping what's his name, Vaughan, as our captain, and he just come out and was just like, there's a 1, and there's another 1, and there's another 1, and the required run rate just kept going up and up and up and up, and come on,
do something.
Right, we bowled them all out, we should be able to win this, right? We cheered when he got out and Kevin Peterson came in, and Kevin Peterson went, oh okay, right, thwack, 6 overs later we were we were like, what the fuck, that was the shortest match ever. Very entertaining.
Is it true that they burn the stumps and put it into that little pot in the ashes?
That is true, yeah.
Why? Why do you have to cremate
Not
stumps?
long ago, I did a tour of the Oval, which is Surrey's ground in London, and that was where the I think it was the bails, maybe it was the stumps as well, I can't remember, but that was where it actually happened, and they made the urn, and then it's kind of a famous thing now for the Ashes. It was so there were England.
The world's smallest trophy.
Yeah, it's tiny. Yeah,
it's like it's tiny.
What?
Do it with small hands.
tiny house.
China.
Way back when, England, when this is when cricket kind of first became an international sport. England, I think, were always kind of number one, and Australia came and toured England, and Australia were not as big as a cricketing nation as they are now, and they came over and they ended up beating England, and all the headlines in the papers the next day around England were around how cricket is burnt to the ground, or cricket as we know it is burned to the ground or something. The ashes of cricket will reside here in this location, and to commemorate that, they took the bales, they burned them, put them in the little urn, and then from then on, every time England and Australia played each other, it was for the Ashes, which was essentially playing for cricket itself. So that is why.
Very symbolic.
Very symbolic, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's very strange when they kind of do that. Whoever the winners of the series are, they all line up and there's fireworks everywhere, and and the captain's there with this tiny little trophy raising it up.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest things.
Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to do some quiz questions because let's mix this up, right? You're
well,
saying
before we do that,
okay.
Before we do that, Sean, do you want to talk about what you play as in cricket and over the kind of the year?
Yeah, sure.
And how you have nothing to do in the winter.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I used to play football, but I'm too old now. It's too hard. So yeah.
Aren't you younger than me?
No, I don't think I am. No, I think you beat me by a year, I believe.
I'm 34 this year.
35 already. So there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've played since I was 11 or so, and where I grew up, I've played pretty much, I think, for every single kind of team, so every age group, and then you get into adults cricket, and generally cricket teams, much like I think hockey teams and rugby teams, they have a first, second, thirds, fourths, depending on how big their club is. And at the time we had 4 teams, so I started off in the fourths, then got up to the thirds, and then seconds, and now for a while I've been in the first team. So we play 50 overs, and an over is 6 balls, so effectively 300 balls. So generally, it's not overly popular for me playing with my wife because it means I'm away on a Saturday when I play for pretty much the whole day. The games start at 12:30. We have a little warm up before, and then it doesn't finish until 7 at the best of times. So it's a long day, and boy did I feel it. I think it was last week that I played, because it was something like 28 or 29. It was a hot one.
Yeah, it was hot last weekend.
I felt it. It was tough. So yeah, I'm a bowler. I'm actually a swing bowler. So I like. That's why I kind of nerded out when we were talking about swing, because I find it really interesting, and I've kind of, and I find cricket, I think, is one of those sports, kind of a bit like rugby, where there's a role for whatever body shape or whatever kind of age you are, or whatever height, or anything. There's a role for you. If you're tall, and so Dom, for example, you would make an absolutely perfect fast bowler because you'd get a really good kind of sling on it. It comes down from a big height, so it'd be hard to face. Jerry, I could see you being a really kind of a pure batsman, and by that I mean someone who would just knuckle down, bat for a day, get 120 in a day, and can raise their bat on the way out.
Jerry doesn't like running. That's the problem.
It just hit boundaries then.
That's what I do.
But no, I find it's a very inclusive sport. It's no matter what kind of size, shape, religion, anything, there's a role for you and a club for you, especially considering the fact that generally clubs have at least kind of 3 teams, and if you're really good, you play for the first team. If you're maybe not so good but just want to go out and enjoy it and have a bit of fun with your mates, then you go in at that level. So yeah, have I sold it to you?
Yeah, I probably would end it.
I'm definitely enlightened.
I'm going to confess, I like cricket. I do like cricket. I am fucking useless at it, though. Right, because yes, you're right. I can't catch for toffee. That's my biggest issue. I've got no ability to catch, which hinders me quite a lot. And I'm not great when I've got a bat because it's an extension. I've never been good with something else. This is why Taekwondo has no extra things. I was an okay bowler, but purely because I was significantly bigger than anyone else. So I couldn't do any swing or anything like that, but I got pretty good at just putting it in the same spot or learning to vary it a little bit, like close to their feet and slightly further away from their feet, and that was it. But like anybody of probably 4th team and above would just pick me apart. So and then like I've seen quite a few cricket matches live. I've not done I think a test. I couldn't do test. I think after 3 days I'd be like, all right, fucking, like, can we have a winner, please? And I have to admit, I do get. It's not the easiest rule set to follow for Test cricket. It's like, hang on a minute, it's been 3 days and it's going to be a draw. But they just scored more runs, so surely they win, right? That's just surely how it is, but apparently not. Whereas I love 50-50. I love 2020. I think 2020 is probably the pinnacle. So the 2020 World Cup or whatever it's called. It's got a weird name, I think.
T20, I think.
That's quite entertaining. Yeah, T20, that's it. That is entertaining. I think that's entertaining. Because you've got to take a bit more risk.
Yeah.
And that's when I think sport is at its best.
Yeah, it's pretty much straight from ball 1 into 3rd gear, and then as you kind of edge into the 20 overs, you're like, okay, everything has to go. I am swinging like a rusty gate. No, that's a well-oiled gate. That's quite a common saying in cricket, but I've always thought a rusty gate wouldn't swing that much, so surely it's a well-oiled gate. Anyway,
I would swing like a rusty gate. I'd probably go as you swing with my hips and stuff. Like I like cricket. I think it is
the thing.
I think it is a.
When you go and watch cricket at international or even just professional level, and watch it kind of in front of you, I think you can then get much more of an appreciation of the sheer pace and speed of the ball. Not just from as a batsman bowling it at 85, 90 miles an hour, and you've got to react in a fraction of a second without it hitting you on your bonds. But also in the field, it always makes me laugh. Baseball commentators, when you have this guy who's got a massive padded mitt, and admittedly, they're in some cases softer ball, and in some cases they're running round, diving full stretch, getting it in their glove, and the commentator's absolutely going wild. Oh my god! Oh, this is the best thing ever! Oh my god! You watch a cricket game. Firstly, feel how hard the ball is. None of them have gloves other than the wicket keeper, and even then they're just kind of plastic padded for a bit of extra grip. And they're diving full length and catching one-handed without a glove. It's when you see that and the athleticism, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Having been a goalkeeper, it's not fun throwing yourself on the ground as well. It hurts. You're like, oh, this is gonna hurt because I can't get anything down because I've got full stretch plonk. Interesting. The bit that really sold it for me was when you were talking about kind of the science, because that's why I'm a big F1 fan, because I love, we're talking about toe and camber on cars, like changing that, difference in pressures, the different suspension, those types of bits. I get a full nerd on. Anything with science is great, and the different, they go into like the different composites of bats that you've got, to the like you play with a different ball depending on for Test cricket versus
and they
T20 cricket, and the colour of it changes. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so Test cricket is bowled with a red ball like this. Fifth international or professional 50 over cricket is generally using a white ball, and so is 20 over cricket. They've only just in Test cricket they've brought in day-night matches, so it kind of goes through into twilight and then into pitch black, and for that the red ball is just too dark. When you're kind of getting to that night stage and the ball goes up in the air, you just would completely lose it. So they've developed a bright pink ball, and even that behaves differently, and it's in some cases I don't really think anyone really knows why they behave so differently. I'd love to learn a bit more about how they do kind of vary in their behaviour, but yeah, it is interesting. There's a lot of science behind it.
Wow.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about it is the amount of times I got smacked on the body.
Yeah.
As you put it, that took a lot to. Oh, okay.
You know what? I still remember the harrowing footage of that poor cricketer when the ball bounced and hit it, because didn't they change the hit him there.
Yeah, Phil Hughes it was. Yeah.
And did they change the helmets?
Yeah, I think it's
has that design changed?
It's mandatory now because you can put a little insert on which kind of extends round to the back of your neck, basically, because that's where it managed to hit this guy, and unfortunately it kind of ruptured something and he passed away. But I mean, in the days of that, prior to the 90s, they hadn't invented helmets yet. So batsmen were playing without any protection around their head at all. I think the first helmets had just something to cover your basically your skull, but your whole jaw, your whole face was uncovered. There was no grill, and then it developed into you've got a helmet and a grill which goes round so you can still see, but it protects you from being hit in the face or the jaw. And it's a tactic. It's a tactic from fast bowlers. You're allowed to, as long as you bounce it, you're allowed to direct the ball into someone's head and aim for it. It's part of the rules. It's a legitimate ball.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, no balls. It's only one. No balls are if it doesn't bounce. And wides are if there's a certain limit to the width.
If it's too far away, basically.
Is it width of the bounce, or is it width of the swing or spin afterwards, or is it both? Where the batsman stands, there's a crease line, and then there's kind of two lines that indicate kind of limits that you've got as a bowler to aim for. And if the ball ends up going over the crease outside of those limits, then it's wide. Because basically it's there so that you can't just put it really wide and literally the batsman can't physically reach it, because it's just negative tactics. No one wants that.
Same thing with baseball as well, isn't it? Which
same concept.
Yeah, and strikeout in baseball is But what's interesting, so could you bowl so the ball lands outside of that zone but swings back into that zone, and that's a legitimate thing?
Yeah.
So it's not where it bounces, it's where it ends up afterwards.
That's
right. I didn't know
and does it shift? Does it shift depending on whether the batsman is left or right-handed?
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. Because obviously, if you're right-handed, you can reach a lot further in front of you than you can kind of behind you. They call it the leg side and the offside. And if it's too far, pretty much if it's anywhere down the leg side, it's considered a wide, because it's just you can't, as a batsman, you can't really reach it.
Yeah. And then going to the technical side, I think it might it's a toss up between tennis and cricket, but one of the two was the first to have Hawkeye. I can't remember which was first.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
I thought it was tennis.
I thought it was tennis,
because
but
there's so
cricket
much
is definitely up there.
Right.
Yeah. Is it called Hawkeye?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Or it used to be called.
That's
Hawkeye.
I seem to. I seem to remember that Hawkeye was originally developed, I think maybe from a weaponry perspective, and they realised that the technology actually wasn't necessarily going to do what it needed, what they needed it to do. So they then kind of thought, well, we've invested a lot of money and it's functional in some ways. What can we put it to? And yeah, it was tennis and cricket really that are the big benefactories.
I've just had a quick Google. Wow. It was cricket that was first by 3 years.
Wow.
Okay.
3?
Cricket.
Wow.
England, Pakistan, May 21st, 2001.
Wow. 2001. That's actually earlier than I thought it was.
Was the yeah. So that was that was but only analysed LBW decisions, so leg before wicket decisions. And then it wasn't until 2008, 2009 where Hawkeye was used for refereeing decisions to the third umpire. So bits and pieces like that. And then it was 2006 for tennis. So it's kind of, again, it's kind of both, like for it to be properly introduced. But yes, I'd say that those were the two that kind of did that. That did that first. So.
Can I just say,
like
that question that you said, Dom, that had me stumped.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Come on, Sean, I'm counting on you. You need to jump in there with another cricket pun.
I don't know. You've yorked me.
You bowled over.
Bowled over. Oh no! Just why, Jerry? Why? There are a lot of funny terms in cricket though as well, because you've got things like a duck,
Howzat?
Golden duck.
I don't. Yeah, golden duck. Yeah.
All the fielding positions are just bonkers. The cover, point, silly mid off, slip, gully, third man, fine leg, square leg, mid wicket. It's just honestly, there's deep mid wicket, short mid wicket,
third leg.
Then you've got things like power play.
Yeah, power plays. Yeah, night watchmans. That's a concept that is really, really hard to explain.
Is it like the offside rule? What's night watchman?
Oh, do I risk going? So, towards the end of a day, this is for Test cricket when it's over 5 days. If you're the batting team and you've got two batsmen who are regarded as really strong batsmen, you want to protect them. And the later the day goes on, sometimes the more pressure there is, the conditions can be a little bit more difficult. And if teams lose a wicket at that point, when it's quite late on in the day, they can sometimes send in a night watchman who's lower down the batting order, so is a lesser batsman, and their job is purely to just not get out for the rest of the day, just to get to the next day and protect the other more kind of solid batsmen. So yeah, it's a weird one. And that's one thing that really kind of I think alienates cricket. Just there's so many different intricacies and weird things that once you kind of get to know them, they're fine, but until then you just think, what the fucking hell are you talking about?
Night watchman. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's interesting. I did a quick one. There has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Test centuries by night watchmen.
Really? That many? Wow.
Yeah. And the most recent was 2006, which was Jason Gillespie.
He got double hundred,
201 not out. Yeah, 201 not out. Australia, Bangladesh.
That's crazy. There's some of the best batsmen in the world, or batters in the world, won't have got a double century. He's sat there as a night watchman getting a double century. That's crazy.
201 not out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Blimey. And he's a bloody Aussie.
That's true. I mean, Australia is the French to rugby.
Yeah, it is
for us, isn't it? Right.
Yeah.
Don't care about anything else as long as we beat the Australians in cricket and the French in rugby. That's just the.
And it's vice versa. It works the other way as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the other thing about cricket, and again, it's in this way, it's very similar to rugby. There's big rivalries. You can go. I've been out to Australia to watch the Ashes, to watch England, Australia, and you're obviously in a stadium. There's no segregation of fans. You're mixed in. You can be sat next to a bunch of Aussie fans and then next to English fans. You're all kind of mixed in, and it's all in really good humour. There's a lot of respect off the pitch. You have a laugh. You have a few beers. You absolutely take the piss out of each other, and rib each other and wind each other up. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, well done, guys. Should we go to the pub? And it's the same for rugby. And when you compare that to the likes of football, where you're physically having to separate them, and then even then you've got
ridiculous
little 15-year-old kids calling out massive kind of dom-sized skinheads saying, yeah, come on then, we'll go outside, I'll get you in the alleyway, come on. It's just embarrassing.
I always remember the what's his name, it's comedian Lee
Evans?
Mac.
Lee Evans, the world's most sweatiest man.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he always said that like football was a gentleman's sport played by hooligans, and rugby was a hooligan sport played by gentlemen. And the rugby players, but the referee would go, and you will go sit down now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, sort of thing. Whereas the football things, well, I'm not today, old chap type thing, and go from there. And it's true, right? I think one of my favourite things to watch, to watch in the rugby, and what I like about the rugby as well is you can hear the referee. And some of the put downs, I'm trying to think, what's the Welsh referee's name? I can't think of his name.
Oh,
Our chat Stevie C is going to be.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Throwing his dinner out of the.
I can't remember his name.
Nigel Owens.
Yes. Good shout.
And some of the put downs that you'd get from him, he'd just be like,
yeah.
And? Like, what? What are you chatting about? Go away. I don't care. Right? And he was tiny bloke. And some of these rugby players are huge. But I don't know too much about the cricket kind of cricket refereeing is a bit weird because you've got the umpires, but you've got multiple of them.
Yeah, you've got two, because obviously you've got two ends of the pitch, and one umpire umpires one end, and then when they swap round, they kind of move out and swap. So yeah, there's two umpires for any game, and then there's a third umpire, kind of like similar to rugby as well, who are kind of in a back office, and for Hawkeye, for review decisions, they're then called upon to communicate and say, it's pitched here, it's hit him here.
Fourth official in football.
That's right. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So there's a lot to this sport, and I think people give it a bad rep purely because Test cricket is probably, for me, in my opinion, Test cricket's the worst.
Yeah.
But, like, you go to 2020, great fun. 50-50 over matches, great fun. So, I think there's and a lot of technology has come out of it because it's quite a consistent game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, so you obviously you're both Formula One fans, and I'm sure you've watched races before where for a long period of time absolutely sod all has happened. You know, they're basically in formation all the way around.
2 weekends ago, the Monaco Grand Prix.
Monaco, yeah.
But you no doubt will also have races where that happens for, let's say, 30 laps, and then something just switches it all up and the momentum completely shifts. and from then on, for the rest of the race, it becomes a real race. And where you were sat thinking absolutely nothing's going to happen here, and then it all kind of changes in front of your eyes. That can be exactly the same with cricket. You can see a team bat for half a day, and nothing's happening. The ball's not really doing anything. It's really easy for the batsman, and then clouds come over, and then from there the ball swings more. Don't ask me why, but it's just a known thing.
Must be the air density or something.
I think you're probably right.
I guess.
Moisture in the air and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, the weather can change, and then it suddenly becomes really difficult for the batsman, and they're there trying to survive. And 5 minutes ago, they could have been batting one-handed, sipping a cocktail, easy as you like, and then it just shifts like that. And that's what you get in Test cricket, which you don't tend to get in the shorter forms, because it is a shorter form and you don't have time for that shifts of momentum.
And I think that's why you sort of say I'm a huge F1 fan, right? And you're right. The Monaco Grand Prix wasn't particularly exciting. The qualifying of the Monaco Grand Prix is the most exciting. I think one of the most exciting things of the whole year, because the margins on that, and you get it wrong, and you're in the wall, and you're done for Sunday. So earlier today, I watched the Austrian Grand qualifying, and which is the shortest time. It's not the shortest circuit, but it's the shortest time. It's got the least amount of corners. So it's something like a 60. The pole time was a 1 minute 4 seconds 0.1, and somehow, like, spoiler alert, although it'll be this gets released after the result of the Grand Prix as well. Lando Norris stuck it on pole by over 0.3 of a second, which is massive on a track that's only 65 seconds long. But it's very similar in that sort of veil, because sometimes it can take a little bit to just change a lot in Formula One. Now, these days, reliability is less of a problem, although we've had the odd one. But the thing about reliability is when something goes, it's not always just somebody pulling the pits and everyone else just carries on and just shifts up one place, because they may stop in an awkward place that the car needs recovering. Safety car, red flag, virtual safety car, etc. might be needed. Or if it's a failure of a suspension, it could be a crash or something like that, which you don't want to necessarily see. And it's one of those things that you kind of. But then you've also got things like, well, actually, people go, well, if it rains in Formula One, that's quite a big thing because you're on the wrong tyre, and being on the wrong tyre is so thing. But recently, even little things like, so Friday practice for the Austrian Grand Prix, the air temperature was 28, quite hot. The track temperature was about 45. Today, the air temperature was 32. The track temperature was 50 degrees. Now, Mercedes went from being quite high up to only just making it because of the way that they use their tyres, and hotter weather means that they eat the tyres more, so they get less grip. It's not always hotter temper means stickier tyres means you get more grip. It's because the tyres can only last so long. So there's a whole kind of wealth, and that's before you even get into the technical side of things. And what I think people don't appreciate is it's the same for football, but I don't think people kind of recognise it, in that the ball that they used for the World Cup in 2006 is very different from the ball that they used in the World Cup in 2020, for example. It's a very different ball that has different characteristics, and different teams play well. And, things like, it's always infamous, isn't it? So the Arsenal pitch, and I know my dad's an Arsenal season ticket holder, is thinner than most other pitches. So when teams that play out wide, they really struggle because they weren't playing as out wide as that. There is a defined limit, but there isn't a defined thing. And it's the same for cricket grounds. Like the shape of the ground at Lords is very different to Edgbaston, for example. It just so the distance to get a six is
and even aside from that, when you look at the countries that cricket is played, and other countries tour, the conditions of just obviously the temperature and the kind of air conditions are completely different. But comparing the surface that you would generally get in England versus somewhere like India or Bangladesh, very, very different, because it's so much drier there. The soil there is different to in England, so it then kind of tends to be better for spin bowlers, rather than in England it's generally better for seam bowlers because of the kind of the conditions of both the from a weather kind of standpoint, and also the moisture generally in the pitches. So it's being successful in England is completely different to being successful in Australia or India or somewhere else.
I mean, we could nerd about this all evening, but I'm also conscious it is now 20 past 10. And we have been nearly going for nearly 3 hours, and that doesn't include the bit
we'll
that
have to get a night watchman in
before we
soon.
started.
Yeah. This is equivalent of test cricket, isn't it?
Yeah. So apologies, Jared. I think I kind of kiboshed your quiz that you wanted to do.
We don't need a quiz, because this is fascinating, what we talked about. Yeah, I wanted to learn more about cricket. It wasn't just like testing Sean on his cricket knowledge. I actually preferred asking. I mean, I asked those questions. I've been wondering about that for years. Just like the history of the Ashes and all that. Yeah, it's really good to get the insights, actually. And it's good.
So as we come to the end of the podcast, we go to Jerry's favourite thing ever. What are your final thoughts? And we should start with you, Sean.
Oh, final. Oh, I didn't realise it was going to me. Bloody hell! I've absolutely loved it. I know we all work together in the unnamed company. I'm not going to fall for it.
The division.
And we've kind of I've been a listener for a little while and really enjoy dialing in and hearing about everyone, all the guests that you've got on, all their food decisions and stuff. So yeah, it's been an absolute kind of pleasure to be on. It's been really, really good. And yeah, I don't really have a thought for thought of the day. Final thoughts. I'm just glad that I could bore people silly with a little bit of cricket. That was fun for me. But yeah, it's been an absolute ball.
And bringing your terrible puns.
That's also been quite enjoyable as well, I have to say. Yeah.
Well, that was a very choice, absolute ball, I think, what you did there. Jerry!
Well, I'm still not over your pizza topping choice. But 2 out of 3's not bad. No, it's been a pleasure having you on.
And do you know what?
yeah, something like that. No, it's been really good. It's been great to have you on, Sean. I mean, Dom and I have been talking about this ages, and I know you're a fan. It's great to have you on. And do you know what? It's, everybody's got their thing, right? I bored everyone to tears with my knowledge and stats of fragrances. Right? But it's just something different, isn't it? And cricket is just like you either know everything that's going on and understand it, or you don't. Like me, I just don't. So this has been an education. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Good.
We aim to have a school day. My final thought. I said at the beginning, Sean, you're one of my favorite humans. It's like I love working with you. Like when we grew through a role together, which has been known to tough and grown into a new role as well. And while we don't get to speak quite as much as we did, we've shared some pretty fun for the last few years. So I think very, very highly of you. So this has been a real pleasure when you sort of said, I want to come on, and I thought yes please do. So thank you. And I echo the sentiments about this. So I remember when Jerry did the fragrances one, because I have literally fuck all knowledge about fragrances and just the wealth that he brought, but actually like I had the capacity to think about cricket in that way, but I hadn't thought about cricket in that way, about like the science and the technology and those bits that, like, oh yeah, it's got to be about, actually, what is it? Why does that ball... And those curious questions that I think bring a new found edge to it. I think the next sport that someone needs to kind of figure out how I can get the science behind it is darts. That's one thing I've yet to figure out. So we need to find somebody that can convince me to find
I'm
the
going to rule
science
myself
side
out
in-
of that
in
one.
darts.
yeah. Don't look in my direction either. Bloody hell.
I absolutely want to go to the Alley Pally
Yeah.
and see the world dance, because I'd imagine it would be absolutely hilarious and a complete hoot. But the science, I don't like. For me, I don't see how darts can be affected in the same way, because it's the same atmosphere every time. So surely it's just you score the most amount of points. And some of the commentators do a very good job of making the same thing sound very exciting.
That's very true.
And you have to drink beer and wear lots of jewellery, don't you? Which is also
Yeah,
great.
and have lots of tattoos. Yeah.
And have
Send
lots
an
of
email
tattoos.
out and just request anyone who knows about darts come to me and hey, maybe you'll hit the bullseye.
Yeah. Oh.
Very good.
And on that note, we shall end that podcast here before these two descend into another pun off. Sean, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
Absolute
thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you very
Jerry,
much.
as always, thank you for being part of this wonderful journey. And to our listeners and our followers, thank you very much for watching, listening, and just generally giving us some feedback. I apologise for all of the losing of the game earlier on, but this is now a second opportunity for you to do that. We shall catch you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Dom. That was brilliant. Up for a lot of piss taking and ribbing and stuff. So yeah, excellent. So you don't want me to pull any punches? You want me to go full ham?
And if I have more of these, then it will be coming at you like double hard.
Nice. I like it. This is like kind of UFC podcast version. Nice, I like it.
UFC podcast version.
UFC podcasting. We're on our own little like podcast octagon.
Yeah, just at the moment
some
we're just
water.
shaping each other up, just kind of picking each other's weaknesses that we want to kind of.
Yeah. Sean's doing like a style of martial arts called like the drunken monkey. But he's not pretending to be drunk, he's actually fucking pissed. Come on then. You fucking want some.
I want to get some. Get your keys out. I want to see some windmilling.
Windmilling in. Don't want any of this Jackie Chan bollocks. Do you know one of my favourite lines ever is from Snatch when he says, "We lost Gorgeous George." Do you remember?
Oh God, it's been so long since I've seen Snatch.
And then he says, "What do you mean you lost Gorgeous George?" It's such a brilliant film. And then he says, "Dom, steady," and he goes, "But don't worry, we've got another fighter, and he's mustard." And he goes, "I don't care if he's Mohammed, I'm hard, Bruce Lee. You can't fucking change fighters." Anyway, I'll go get some water. I'll be right back.
Dom, do you watch any other like martial arts or anything like that, or MMA or?
Yes and no. I don't like watch things religiously. It's interesting. Most of my love for Taekwondo has been like the philosophical side and like the traditional side. So I like the patterns and the forms. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll get in a scrap. Like, I've been in plenty of them, and I've done one full contact, and I've done kickboxing, I've done the wacko. But my biggest beef with it, and it's also why I'm not actually that much of a big fan of boxing, is I just find that the disrespect is just not. I don't find that entertaining. Everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I love like when they're beefing each other." I'm like, I actually don't find that entertaining because I think you've got to hold a certain amount of respect for somebody that's walked into a ring with you.
It's the whole kind of notion of they're just building up the fight, but it's distasteful. I find. I do watch.
Yeah.
I used to watch UFC quite a lot because when I lived with my mate and we had a flat, he was really, really into it, and he got me into it. And the one thing I would say about UFC, even though it's obviously brutal, the respect, the mutual respect is often, well, it's probably almost always really, really high. You know, they have a lot of mutual respect. They hug each other after the fights. There's a lot of respect in the build-up and stuff. So I do find it's a bit different to boxing, but
It's interesting. Like, so I've been like both the full contact fight and all the fights that I've done around the world, regardless of who I fought and whether I've won or whether I've lost. Like 9 times out of 10, like most of them, like if I don't know them well, like it's like that. It's the hand, it's kind of the handshake and the like pat on the back and the thank of the coach. But I've gone in and it's been the final like 2-minute rounds against somebody I know really, really well, and we have like. If anything, if you know him really well, that's worse because you're like, I want to beat him because I know him, right? I'm that type of person. I wanna smash him to bits. And we will go hammer and tong for 4 minutes. We'll be on our asses. And in fact, we at one point, I remember one specific one, like it went to extra time because we drew. And I think he won, and deservedly so won. Like normally, my biggest weakness was like gas out. So like 5 minutes.
When you've got limbs like yours, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I generally have a height advantage, but I've also got like a reach advantage. But endurance is not my biggest thing. And I remember we finished, and like when he raised both of us hands, we both looked at him like, all right, it's on. And I'm thinking inside, I'm going, fuck me, right? Don't show weakness. Anyway, we went through it, and it finished. He raised his hand, and as soon as the ref like raised his hand, put us down, and walked up, he came to me, raised my hand. As we both went like that, and then gave me a great big hug and was like, that was amazing. We should do that more often. And I went, it was really fun. But can I have a break first? Because I'm knackered. And then...
but this is... Oh, sorry.
You always go and thank the coach. So I went and thanked,
coach,
his coach, who I also knew really, really well. Yeah. And he gave me a great big hug, and I that was, that was great. Walked back and, and then all the celebrations and stuff. But, to walk away with a silver at those types of things, like British level, is good. So, yeah, I love it. Love it.
Nice.
You're
so
saying,
you missed
Jerry,
the trick because when his guard was down, you should have just like elbowed him in the temple or something, kicked him in the balls.
Kick him in the balls.
Have you ever seen
sucker punched
Jerry,
him?
Have you ever seen a guy? What is it? Have you ever seen the videos Americano? And it's by Grandmaster Ken. Oh God,
So whenever I hear Grandmaster, I always think of Grandmaster Flash in the Furious 5.
Enter the Dojo show.
That already has.
Ameridote, sorry, not Americano. Ameridote. And it's basically a piss take of all like traditional martial arts, and he's like 11th degree. And like to put it into perspective, one of his videos is 100 ways to attack the groin.
Oh, I think I have.
There's 100
seen
ways
this.
to attack.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hang on. We're actually recording, so I may just slip this in at the beginning. Be like, we're just talking about this. Screen. So you should eventually be able to see it, and it's like it's only a 2-minute video.
Here to announce that Tiger Tuesdays are back in action. And in order to celebrate our 100th video upload to our YouTube channel, today we will be showing you 100 different ways to attack the groin.
We're going to do that now.
He does look like a Ken, I will say.
I didn't bring my cup.
He just looks like a Ken.
That's fine. Ready? Hey!
Really frustrating. The video's not playing for me, but I can hear it.
I know. It's just
It's not playing for you.
No.
I'm gutted it's not playing for you.
It's still going on. Oh, his testicles must be up near his stomach. That's all I've got, the sound effects.
Yeah, I haven't caught any of this.
Dear.
Oh dear.
But there you go.
How's your internet,
send you
Dom?
the video
I can't
later.
work out if it's my side or your side. Is it?
It's definitely Dom's
That's
side.
me. It'll be
In the
me.
new house, is it still warming up?
It's not. I had it fixed yesterday. I had 2 open reach people come to the house, and the second guy was there for 3 hours.
Open up.
Reach around.
And the first guy disconnected my neighbour.
Oh my god, disconnected your neighbour. That's one way to really make friends and neighbours, isn't it?
Yeah, so Jim came round yesterday about like in hindsight, if he'd come round a little bit earlier when the open reach guy was still there and gone, I've just been disconnected, I might have been able to like say to him, you've been disconnected, like stop, go and fix it. But he came over after the open reach guy had left. So I couldn't do anything about it to let him know. But it was the first guy that disconnected because Jim got disconnected at midday, and the second guy came at like 3 p.m. and left at 6:30. So, the internet here is only 30. It's 30, and then it's supposed to be it's a 50-10 line, and I'm getting 30 and about 6. So you'll notice that you're both on 99. And I'm on 41, but actually you're quite stable, and I can see you considering recording. There's not too much ping. There's a little bit of latency, but not too much. So I'm optimistic. Is the simple answer for this one.
Ping? What, ping from the coffee shop?
Now I bet she
Jerry,
knows
you work with
100
technology.
ways to kick you in the bollocks.
Yeah.
I reckon I'd go so far as to say I reckon probably about 150.
Definitely.
Maybe pushing 200.
Oh dear.
And one of them includes a blueberry muffin
That's a good way to go.
and a hot cup of coffee. Yeah.
We don't talk about pranks of hot cups of coffee in the Oval Office. That was the old chairs that we used to have. We used to have a divot, and if someone was leaning forward, you could pour some water into the divot, and after about sort of 5 minutes, it would seep into the rest of the chair and then into your trousers.
Shit.
So you used to get all the time, because if you're concentrating as a developer, someone just comes and loves it. And Jimmy made the mistake of doing it to Sinead. Bearing in mind that Jimmy is Sinead's partner. And Sinead's revenge was to just pour hot coffee on his lap.
God.
So we learned, don't prank Sinead.
Don't mess with Sinead.
Oh dear. Right, shall we do a formal start? And even though we've got like 20 minutes of content, I think, so far already.
Yeah, we have.
Fine.
Can splice and dice this, baby.
To change that, let's check. Is it that episode number? I've just realised. Is it episode 49?
None. Let me have a look.
Must be.
I mean, you've got the document open. I've got my section ready. You just wait, Sean.
Well, I've put 49th, but that doesn't mean it is the 49th episode.
Fair enough.
Okay, fine.